Hello, Nomads, and welcome to episode 29 of the Nomads of Fantasy podcast. My name is Brandon, and I am your host, and I'm also here with Eric.
Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
Oh, shit. And Dave.
Milk the cunt.
Oh, my God. All right. And I don't know,
Get
Fred.
in there.
We have a special guest. We have Fred coming on to the show, and... dear friend Fred, do you have a quote from this movie?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
Yes, that's what I thought you guys went vulgar on me, man.
I thought no. I was gonna go with the not my tempo, but I thought that was too obvious, you know. So
not my tempo.
Went with something a little
not
better.
My tempo. Yeah,
not my tempo.
We are referring to the great movie Whiplash that came out in 2014, and I personally love this movie. It's definitely top 10 material for me. And when you have a podcast and you have people to talk to you about stuff like this, I'm just like, this is like why I did. I want to talk about a movie like this. I had so much fun with this movie, and I shouldn't. A drummer, jazz, but yeah, the movie Whiplash, and a special guest, Fred. I was talking to you offline about like some movies that, you know, maybe we could talk about, and you threw this out there. And real quick, before we kind of get into what we catch up on, what is it about this movie that you wanted, or what you like so much, and why you wanted to talk about it?
To me, I just think like it's the obsession of it, you know, his obsession to be like so great, and then Fletcher's obsession to grab greatness out of it. It gives me like really like huge tones of like Black Swan. If you guys remember that movie at all?
Yes, dude.
They're in the same fucking
Definitely
ballpark.
does.
Obviously, a little bit less psychological thriller. But there's something about that obsession. I think I think a lot of good movies, you see a main character have this kind of obsession and you're drawn to it. And I think that's really what it is. And obviously, I think J.K. Simmons is like top tier thespian, you know, and I think it just took a lot of us a long time to figure that out. Because I even think about like Jameson, you know, from Spider-Man. If I read any of those comics, I read it in his voice. You know, because it's so like ingrained in it to me now, you know?
Damn right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what it, you know, adding that plus the obsession part to it. And the cinematography for it's just really, really, really good. That's something I noticed on this watch, which I have before. And obviously
It's in my notes.
Yeah. And obviously the sound design's fantastic. So I think all those things just really make it something worthwhile. And you just don't get a lot of movies like this anymore. A lot of things are Marvel, like, you know, special effects, CGI. This is actually super low budget, filmed in 19 days, like very like a sepia tone throughout it. It's just fantastic. I love it.
Clearly, you know about this movie. Oh my God! All right, save it. Hold on. I asked you a question.
I watched it literally up until the minute I just got on this thing. If it makes you feel any better,
dude. I got teary eyed at the end of this movie. When he did the whole like when he's just like when he both connected at the end, I was just like, man, fucking, because I'm an artist, I'm a designer, and I fucking bust my ass to make the output I have for the masses, and I get it. So I was just like, fuck yeah, man, it is awesome when shit clicks and you're in the moment and you know you're having one of those things in your life where you look back on it's like I was the one that did it, and like it's a great movie. Anyway, all right, hold on. Holy shit. I love talking about movies that I love, man.
Getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's just kind of catch up on like one or two things you guys have been doing. So I'll close, but let's start with Dave. Then we'll go to Eric, then Fred, and then myself. So yeah, what's going on, Dave?
There was actually a lot going on this week. I did some time traveling. My Xbox was played by Forza, Skyrim, Halo, and Call of Duty. So I was kind of... It was weird looking at the latest downloads. So a little bit of everything, I guess, this time. Most of the time in the new Skyrim, which has been pretty cool. I know Eric's been playing a lot of that.
Same. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good Creation Club stuff in there. Some of the mods still work, which is cool. Some of the mods don't. I guess Brandon was having issues earlier in the week with crashes. I had a couple crashes.
Still can't get it to work, man.
No?
I don't want to lose my save, and I don't want to lose my
Just
mods.
start again. Just start again, man. Start a fresh save.
I spent so much time on that character.
That's
Ray!
the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Skyrim.
Yeah, I agree.
You just start fresh, and that's exactly what I did on my playthrough.
Yeah.
I started over, started fresh, and I did the whole tutorial area, and I went a completely different direction than I normally do. And I'm already seeing stuff that I've played, I don't know, over 200, 300 hours of this game before. And I'm already seeing stuff that I've never seen before, like going to dungeons that I've never been in before, and like meeting characters
All right,
I've never
fair
met
enough.
before.
Yeah,
It's been long
you're
enough.
selling me already.
And like, I'm playing this game on PS5, so I got the next gen version, so it's in 60 FPS, and like with all the graphical mods installed and everything, it's like a brand new game. And I'm just like, I'm falling in love.
Are you still
with
going
Skyrim
survival?
all over again? I am going survival.
All right, yeah, me too.
I was like, at first I was like, I don't know about it, but I turned it on and I'm actually really enjoying it because it gives like purpose to like interacting with some of the systems that I never did before, like eating food, cooking.
You never need food before.
Right. You never needed food. You just, if you're low on health, you just use a health potion. But now
Bed
like,
rolls
the
are, yeah.
Yeah, the bed rolls.
They're just there.
Yep. And like, I never like paid to stay in an inn before, but now like,
I like that you're doing
inn.
that, Eric, because one of the things I did, well, not the same, but kinda, is I would manually I would walk to the places. Like if I was gonna go to like, was it Morgath or whatever, that's what I would do. I would just walk or travel by horse or something, because
Horses are
there would be
key in this one.
Yeah, and so many mini events can happen on your way there. This is why you play Skyrim, because like those events is your unique experience.
When I was playing it the other night, I was just getting lost in it. Like just the experience of walking down this path at night, just like silence. You just hear the sounds of like the bugs and the nature
so
all
good.
around you.
The
And you're
music.
just walking through this world. It's incredible.
It still shows some of its age though too. There's a lot of that dumb scripting where like I'm walking out and getting sworn in by like this group of werewolf dudes, and they're all like giving me this initiation, and some dumbass courier runs up, "Hey, I got a note for you," and he's like talking in the middle.
Yep.
He's talking in the middle of this big old ceremony. It's all
And the
There's
clank,
some
the
goofy
clunk,
shit.
yeah, like when a vampire comes out of nowhere, it's just like so like clunky because somebody's talking to you and everything, the world freezes, and this person, hey you, I know who you are, and then all of a sudden, like as soon as he's done, a vampire attacks. He's like waiting for the script to end. I know exactly that Bethesda jank. Maybe
it's
the
still
sixth
there.
one won't have it though. Maybe like the sequel.
hopefully this time next year we'll be talking about Starfield.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Hopefully.
downloaded some more of like immersive mods. Like there's like a civilian mod that makes interactions with civilians more like immersive and like more immersive movement and stuff. So I feel like it's a little bit better than like vanilla Skyrim. So I'm getting a little bit more out of it this time, which is nice. But like I said, I'm just falling in love with it all over again, and I just want to go play it again after this.
I'm with you. Just walking around doing the same cast spells.
Mm-hmm.
You been getting in there, Fred?
I was just gonna say, yeah. I'm. You said you're playing it on PlayStation 5?
Yep.
They said like I was watching a review earlier, and somebody said that's like the worst way to play it. But I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I just feel like the comparison, like obviously PC, you get all the extra stuff and all the extra mods, whatever, I get it, but like it's still a great game. What, you know what I mean? Like it's always like this like, back and forth. I'm gonna play it on PlayStation 5 too, so I'm like, okay, I don't see why it's bad, but all right.
I haven't had any issues so far. Like I said, 60 FPS, it looks great, and like the loading times now are super fast. That was a huge thing about Skyrim back in the day when it first came out, was the super long loading times. But now, like on next gen consoles, they're lightning fast. It's less than 5 seconds if you enter like a new area or anything. So,
oh wow,
it definitely doesn't impede you as much as it used to.
Yeah, load times are a buzzkill, man. Oh my god, I don't have the next gen, but I can't wait till I get one because I hate load times.
It was one of the issues when we were playing Forza the other night, where like you're doing like the single player mission, they're like, hold on guys, this crazy jump's coming up, and you get like right to the ramp and it goes to go to a cutscene and it goes black screen for like 20 seconds. And you're like, okay. And then by that time you're like pulling up your
Wow.
phone to do something else, and then it just pops back up, and you're like, oh, yeah, here we go.
And you just landed in a new vehicle, or you're in an airplane. You're like, where was I? Yeah,
I think that's why I
sucks.
enjoyed Forza a lot more than you guys, because I'm on a Series S and I had none of that at all.
Yeah,
like
dude.
no load screens, and it's fantastic.
But once you're playing, it's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is, yeah. I love it.
A lot of that. So, yeah, I played a lot of old games. Played some Skyrim. Played some new Forza. Played some more Call of Duty. It's still more Call of Duty.
Bunch of
and I-
franchises.
Yeah, standards. And then Halo dropped the other day, yesterday. Just, hey, the multiplayer's up. Everybody jump in. So I cleared my Whiplash. It was in my Whiplash taste breaker after that, so I could get back to normal life. And then I saw Dune movie this week.
Oh, I haven't finished it. I'm like, I'm not even halfway through it. It's,
Oh, you can't
Yeah.
stop.
but
Fuck
I'm
yeah,
liking
Dune.
it.
Yeah, it's good. I won't spoil anything, but it's got its pacing things. It's got a lot of good actors in it, so everything. I don't really know much about the whole Dune universe, so I was kind of just like jumping in on it. But it seems like a good setup
Dude's awesome.
because it's only like the first part of the first book, I guess. They're kind of just setting up the houses,
Like
and
a trilogy, I believe.
but I was just asking.
I think they're
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
try and do 2.
I don't know how many they're gonna do, but I just wonder, like, if you're in space and you're mining all this stuff and you're zipping around the galaxy, why does everybody fight with swords? Like, there's no guns, there's no laser pistols, there's nothing else. It's just everybody uses a sword, which I thought was kind of weird. They're very stabby. Everybody's very stabby with each other.
They don't talk. They don't cover that at all. Like why?
I
That's
didn't.
The
I
way?
saw. I mean, no, I didn't really see anything about that. But I don't know much about the Duneverse, so I guess we'll wait for the next one to see if they explain
Right.
guns.
They don't really even talk about it in the novels either, though. Like Dune, they never talk
No?
about it in the novels. No,
You
they never,
read the
They like
novels?
mention. Yeah, when I was in high school, and then again in my 20s.
Nice.
Yeah, I love those things. The second half is going to be really good.
Okay.
The thing is, like that director,
Yes.
Denis.
Yeah, he's fucking dope.
He understands scale really well, and like as a person that's read them, like, I mean, I'm just so excited for the second part of it. And I wasn't even excited for this movie in general. I was like, they're going to mess this up. This is going to be this dude's
No.
first mess up. Cause it's really weird. It's just weird stuff. Like, it's just really odd. I've seen it twice now. I watched it at my friend's house. He just got like this giant, like 85-inch TV that he wanted to
Oh
show
my
off.
God.
So I was like, yeah, I'll go watch Dune there again.
Yeah.
And then
It's the way to watch it.
the first time I watched it, I just watched it on my like little 32-inch screen in my office, but I was fine. It's like right in front of my face. Anyways, we went there and watched it. But the thing that sucked is I was watching it with people that like didn't really watch science fiction stuff very often, or like, so trying to explain to them this extremely dense political novel. Like there's so many different things going on with it. It's not really like obviously like a Star Wars or a Star Trek in any way.
Just tell them it's
No.
Space Game of Thrones.
Kind of,
It
yeah,
kinda
yeah, a
is.
little bit is.
So
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
But I thought it was, I know nothing. I thought it was a great setup and that cool new universe to be in. But yeah, I could see that going places. Especially, I assumed it was going to be more than 2 movies. I was assuming this was going to be like a 4 or 5 kind of movie thing. But see how much Dune is out there. It's a lot of sand. But how about you, Eric? What have you been up to?
We kind of talked about it already, but I've been just getting lost in Skyrim again.
Vegeon and Skyrim?
Yep,
Yeah.
I want to play a lot more of that. Forza Horizon 5 was the other big thing I've been playing a lot of. It's just so fun to just pop in every now and then and just do a couple races, just ride around the open world. It's just so fun just to explore that world. And like the Mexico is a lot more interesting and diverse than the last one with when they're
Yeah, I was
set
just
in
thinking
England.
that.
Yeah, like there's so many more different biomes.
Agreed.
You got the
100%.
you got the jungles, you got the beaches, you got like the sand dunes and everything. You're just rolling your
Volcanoes
cars
and
over.
Eric, I was
Yeah.
thinking about that. Like, who? Let's think about the American audience and the European audience alone. The majority of those people, like, already experienced that climate
Mhm. It's true.
from the last one. So the 5th Forza is tropical. And it's just like gorgeous cars and gorgeous like vistas, like that's what we want. So of course 5's gonna be like, and you get these new consoles who are begging, like Xbox X and Series S, like they're begging to show off what they can do.
Oh yeah,
this is a great game to do it. I mean, yes, it's like the last one, but
dude.
But it's like
In the last one,
they got everything right in this one. I feel more so than the last.
in the last one, you could not bomb a buggy down a volcano, and like that was. There's a mission where you literally are just riding a buggy down the side of a volcano, and it's so fucking fun. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, I saw the volcano. I didn't know you could go in those. That's fucking.
It was.
But yeah,
really
it's
cool.
just visually, it's just more interesting to look at. So I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sandstorms. I mean, come on, man. Like, come on. How cool is it to drive into a sandstorm
So,
and just race people and stuff in there? I thought it was
I've
sweet.
played a bit of it, like, I don't know, probably close to like 5 hours or so. And I haven't, the only sandstorms I've seen are the ones on the missions. So I don't know if there's actually emergent ones anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've seen. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. So it's not like a dynamic thing that
I
just happens
don't think so, because
in the open
the
world.
first, there's one in the opening like tutorial thing that you go through, just they introduce it. And then there's another mission that I did. It's like a story mission.
Are you
And
telling me
drive-
I can't take little go-karts into a sandstorm? Because that's kind of what I wanted to do.
I
That'd
haven't
be
seen-
hilarious.
I haven't seen a sandstorm just appear out of nowhere, which was kind of disappointing. So I don't know if that's a thing or if it's
That's
only on certain missions. But if it is, that's kind of lame. But
Yeah, it's a tease.
either way, I'm having a fantastic time with it. That was about it. Lots of Skyrim, lots of Forza. I have been playing a lot more Animal Crossing. I mentioned it last week. Fred, I don't know if you're an Animal Crossing guy at all, but I've been having a great time with it. And I've actually gotten my 2-year-old son into it a little bit. I feel like this is the first video game that he's kind of latched onto.
Uh-oh.
Like, I've been showing it to him a lot, and we've been playing it, and we built like this whole like construction site, and I don't know, he's like really into construction vehicles and everything. It's been super fun. Like, he's always asking to like go upstairs and play the game, and I'm like, let's do it. It gives me an excuse to play some more video games. So it's really fun introducing your kids to video games.
That's awesome.
And like, he's only 2 now, so he's not like too interested. I thought he would like Forza, but he's not interested in that at all.
No, you come on, Eric. Why don't you give him more comment next? Like, what's going on, dude? I gave you like an easy character. He's 2 years old. It's impressive that he's holding a controller the right way and doing anything
Yeah,
with it.
like I sit him on my lap, and I'm holding the controller, and I let him like push the buttons to like dig holes and chop down trees and stuff, and it's great. It's a great time.
My 3-year-old is getting really
That's
good
cool.
at video games, and I don't know if I'm a bad father because of that. Because I'm like, or he's gifted. I have no idea, but like, you're pretty good at Plants vs Zombies and Gang Beasts. Like this,
I see
and
Brandon
Mario
all
Kart.
the time on Discord. It shows what you're playing on Xbox.
Because
It's
I linked
always
my
Plants
Xbox
vs
account,
Zombies.
I linked it.
It's usually my
You
kids
can see
playing
both
with
of
them
you.
too.
I could tell when Jack
We're
and Luke are
creating
playing
something.
together, because I can
Yeah,
see
it's Plants
both
vs.
playing the
Zombies.
same game.
Yeah, dude. They
funny.
always Dave and my son, our sons, they always are gaming with each other, to the point where Dave's like, I think our kids play with each other more than we do in games. I'm like, it's kind of sad, but it's
probably
true.
Yeah.
Whatever, such is life. Yeah. Was there anything
good.
else that you had
Nope,
there?
that
or
was it for me.
That it? Okay. What about you, Fred? What have you been dabbling in or watching?
Watching lately, I've been rewatching Veep on HBO
Nice.
because I think it's incredible. It's just so funny and like just very biting humor. I just really like that. Sometimes I just like zone out, like especially in the wintertime, like on a comedy series, or if it's Arrested Development, Veep, or whatever
love
else it
Arrested
be.
Development.
Caught up on Succession last night, as always, on Sunday. I like am obsessed with that show. Have you guys watched Succession? at
No,
all?
but I've heard nothing but good
I have
things.
not.
It is fucking incredible. It's honestly like top tier. Like, yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Honestly, it's just every single time there's an episode, you know how it is when you watch a TV show, and then like throughout the weeks, like sometimes there's like an episode that kind of misses, you don't really care about, and then the next one's good, whatever. Every single week it's better. It's just mind blowing. Other than that, I've been playing Metroid Dread.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
I think I'm near the end. I got the gravity suit recently.
Okay,
There's a
so
boss I'm
you're
having a
still
hard
farther
time
than
with.
me. I'm probably like
Oh.
a little over halfway done.
Okay. Yeah, and they kept saying like 9 or 10 hours. I'm 11 hours in, so I don't know if I got lost a bunch and I only have like 30% of the items, so I'm pretty sure I still have a while on it. I was happy paying $60 for it.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And then
That's because Nintendo's brainwashed you to spend that $60.
Listen, we get
Nintendo-
2D Metroid games every like 20 years, so it's worth it.
I think let me think, what else have I been playing? And I think that's pretty much it for the fantasy stuff. But I will say this about Nintendo. Nintendo, as though I love their IP, is an awful company. And I don't know.
Yeah, they prey on nostalgia.
Yeah, they prey on nostalgia. And like, if you think about it, from the last CEO they had, the one that passed away, to the one they have now, you like
Bowser?
Yeah, you move from a gamer to someone that's a business major.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when
true.
Nintendo does bad, stupid shit. That's when they did the Wii U and they messed that up. And then they moved over. They did the Switch because they had the last few years of the other guy. And now they're moving into doing the weird stuff. You can just tell it's like they're probably going to have some bad years going forward. But I'm still going to buy, like, obviously Breath of the Wild 2 that comes out. That's a day one purchase. Yep. Metroid.
Yeah,
I love Mario
right,
games.
Of course, that's because that's why you buy Nintendo Switch or anything. You buy it because those exclusives are why you bought it. Otherwise, you'd play it on the PS5 or Xbox Series X or something like that.
Yep. Like you said, I love the IPs, but like Nintendo as a company, I don't know. They make some really dumbass decisions.
But it annoys me because, the Nintendo 64, like, you know how like their online is like $20 a year, which is a cool deal, and you get all these NES games, but like now they're adding N64
yeah, so
games,
they added Genesis and 64, but instead of $20, it's $50 a year. So they're bumping up the price.
But when you look at what
Xbox
Xbox with Game Pass and Live and Gold are doing as a bundle for $15 a month, basically, it's, I don't know. Like, it's like you said, they're preying on the nostalgia of us gamers because they know we'll buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the 4th time and Skyrim, or not Skyrim, but Zelda this and Zelda that and Mario. But then when you play it, though, they are perfect games.
Gives you that feeling.
But they're perfect games. There's nothing to complain about. Like, everything they do make, their exclusives are some of the best out there. And
even Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wild.
Well,
perfect, right, Brandon?
That's the outlier with me. We will get to that someday.
Outlier.
I don't know. I named my dog fucking Zelda. Like, I love the music. I love the first 2 games. I played the one on Super Nintendo. I'm a Zelda fan, but the 3D ones I never really played. And when I got around to Breath of the Wild, I was just like, this is dumb. Every weapon, I get a rake. I attack something with it for 8 times.
Even
and
bring
breaks.
it. We don't have time for this.
All right,
we gotta get
that's a whole nother rant.
Fine. Fair. Fine. Anywho, Fred, what else were you up to?
Aside from that, just what else? I think that's pretty much all I've been doing. I've been working a lot and I've been editing my podcasts. I've been building some more clientele. I have a podcast agency called Off Brand Studios. So I got a couple of potential clients that I was doing a little bit of work with them for. And other than that, yeah, just kind of going through the motions. I had 2 interviews because I had recently kind of like took some time off of work. So I had an interview at Costco, which was great. And then, because it's really hard to get in the door there. And then I had an interview at Apple as well. So I'm hoping one of those, they're doing like background checks now. So I'll find out the next couple of days. So that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah, very excited.
Good luck with that, dude. Yeah, I know. I like that. What I like about having you on the show is just as a podcaster, but not just not as a creator, but as someone who understands like the industry. So you're an audio guy. I like that you dabble with like you're into movies, you're into games, so you just kind of get media, I guess. You know, you kind of get this kind of world that we're playing around and stuff like that. So that's cool, man. Well,
I'm
best
a
of luck
content
with
consumer.
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
But well, can I plug in some of the things that I've been watching? So game wise, like I did Skyrim, I did Forza. I have an Xbox, that's why I fucking played it. I have that console so I can play those games. But holy shit, guys! One real quick. I watched a show called Atlanta. It's on Hulu.
I've been wanting to watch that one. I've heard good things about it.
What is it? Donald Glover, right? He has a great show. I'm on episode 5 of the first season, and I'm having a blast with it. I think it's a really good show. The characters are really good. It's like It's like the show Weeds, but like black version, I guess. You know, like I'm saying, like it's Weeds, but it's not Weeds. It's like the black version. I don't know. The humor's great. I love the culture. I love everything about what he's got going so far. The creativity in the show is really good. I'm really impressed with it. So I can see why he's kind of made a name for himself just as like a musician, as an actor, as a writer. So I can see with Atlanta, he gets to do a little bit of everything, and I'm really impressed. So I'm a little late to the probably. Has anybody seen this show, or am I the only one that's seen it?
Yeah.
You have?
I watched all of first season, and I think I got through the second season. It was the longest wait ever. It was like 2-year wait for the second season.
Okay.
If you would watch it, so you're lucky that you get to watch that. But yeah, he's fantastic. I mean,
it's so good,
great.
And I don't know, it's got good music and it's got good acting. But anyways, what I really want to talk about is this movie called The King. Came out in 2019. It's on Netflix. It's the dude from Dune. Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, it's called The King. Timothy Chalamet, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
He is Prince Henry, and our like a favorite actor of ours now from The Lighthouse is was it Robert Pattinson?
Mm-hmm.
He is this French kind of jerk, kind of prince kind of character, and the two of them are going against each other. I really don't want to ruin this movie because it's one of those movies where if you like fantasy, as in like not fantasy, what am I talking about? It's grounded on some base of history. Shakespeare took that story of King Henry and kind of made this romantic version. It's a great story, but this movie rather, on Netflix, it's got great acting. It's got from a beginning to an end, it delivers on everything. It's got action, it's got some violence, it's got jokes, it's got everything you want, and it even has a plot twist in there. And I won't ruin that other than saying that there's something in there for you if you like plot twists. It's incredible. Under the radar. It has good reviews. I can't praise it enough. The King on Netflix. I won't say anything more.
I'll check that out.
Be, I'm gonna have to watch that because my wife is like obsessed with historical dramas about like King Henry and stuff. So this will be perfect.
The journey from where you start with the character to where it ends is a ride, man. Just like with Whiplash, where like you go kind of like here where we're at, and then here's where we end. It does that kind of story arc. So, yeah, please check out The King. And if anybody likes it, just let me know. But other than that, that's what I did. And I played the same games as you guys. So, all right, I'm really pumped to talk about Whiplash. Like you don't even know. So, let's take a break. And then when we come back, Eric is going to plug some social on Whiplash on the topic. And then we'll get into the movie.
Let's do it.
We have returned, and we are going to be talking about Whiplash. But before we do, Eric, you went to social media and you asked a question. What was that question?
Well, before we get into that, we received a very nice email from our number one fan, Jake Iveson.
Yes,
Hey,
dude.
good old Jake.
So you can
Hi, Jake.
email us like Jake did at nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com. And he typed out a very nice email. I'll go through it really quick. He said, "Hey guys, love listening to your show every week. After listening to episode 8, I think it was, or potentially 10, this was our top 10 or top 15 indie games where we ranked our favorite indie games episode. He said he decided to give Stardew Valley a try. I wasn't aware of the co-op update that is old news at this point, but when you guys mentioned it, I decided to give it a try with my wife. We always are looking for a new game to dump in some time into together, and this one stuck out immediately as potentially enjoyable. one for her. Needless to say, we have about 90 hours into the game, which with
Nice.
likely a lot more put into it. Thank
90 hours?
90 hours.
That
It's
is
crazy.
impressive.
That's awesome. Thank you
Well,
guys.
that makes me very happy.
Thank you guys for talking about the game, convincing me to give it a chance, and providing us with a very enjoyable experience. I hope to keep listening to you guys for a very long time. Keep up the great work. Thanks again for making Mondays fly by.
Sweet.
That was a very nice email.
My heart. I'm not even part of this. My heart.
A couple enjoying Stardew together. That
Oh.
just warms you right there.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Thank
That's
you so
great.
much, Jake. We really appreciate the email. We love more emails like that. Like I said, nomadsfantasy@gmail.com. You can also go to our new website, thenomadsoffantasy.com. You'll find all of our social channels there. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Nomads of Fantasy. And I asked for people's thoughts on the movie we are talking about, Whiplash. And like I said, people like this movie. Mind Gap Podcast said, love the movie. J.K. Simmons is amazing and the intensity is overwhelming. Great payoff at the end as well. Creative Control says, a movie masterclass. I agree. And IMJ Design says, I mean, this was an awesome movie. Can't put it any simpler than
You're
that.
correct, sir. Well, awesome. Yeah. I mean, I went on Rotten Tomatoes. Who has the numbers right now? But I mean, they're really good. It's like,
I think it was 94% or something.
Something that's up there.
yeah. So, okay. So, real quick, before we get into the movie, I always ask Eric to sum up the plot of the movie, and then we can go anywhere we want. I have an idea of some of the things that we're going to talk about, but yeah, Eric, if you don't mind, what is this movie about?
I'll just do it right off the Wikipedia just to make it simple and easy. The story follows ambitious jazz drummer Andrew Neiman, played by Miles Teller, who is pushed to his limit by his abusive and ruthless strict band leader Terrence Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons, at the fictional Schaefer Conservatory. And that's
not just it,
It's a
though.
good sum up.
There's a lot.
That's not it, but we can get into it.
All right, fine. Let's get into it. Where do we even begin? I mean, Whiplash is the name of a song,
Well,
and that's
began-
kind of why it's called Whiplash.
Well, yeah, there's a couple there. I mean, there's like some metaphorical reasons too. Like Whiplash could refer to like the car accident that he got into because he suffered the injury. There's like a bunch of different ways we could go with it.
Right. Like, if you haven't seen this movie, like,
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers ahead, right? Like, there is, if you haven't seen this movie, it's about a drummer, and he wants to be not great at drumming. He wants to be one of the greats. I don't know much about jazz. I really don't. And I'm a guitarist. I like to play music and stuff like that. I'm not into blues and jazz. All right. I'll just say that right now. I'm not really into it. But this movie's about a jazz drummer, and it's one of my top 10 movies.
Snap.
It's so good.
I think it's big band. I wouldn't call it jazz or blues.
Oh, well, all right. Sure. Yeah.
That's one thing I disagree with the whole movie.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I love this.
There's no jazz in this movie at all. Jazz requires improvisation and some sort of creativity. These are just band geeks reading off of a sheet.
No, but the ending of this movie, he proves time and time again that he does not need the music in front of him.
Exactly.
He can
doesn't
wing
need
it
a
if he
sheet.
needs to.
Yeah. Sure.
All right,
When
well,
he
hold on.
gets
Let's get some structure to the
abused
conversation.
and-
Hold on. All right, hold
Sure.
on real quick.
Sure.
This movie is about music, and it's about to be one of the greats, you really can't. I mean, there's talent, but this movie covers talent. There's a lot of talented musicians in this movie, but the main character, to go above the rest, he has to physically prove that he can go as fast as he can, as long as he can. So that physically is out of the way. But he has to prove that he can play this music no matter what other people say, think, or do to him. That's the whole message of this movie. That's why at the end, when he's like being discouraged, he goes up to him at the end and he even fucks him over at the very end. He's like, it was you. And he gets up and he walks away and he goes to his dad's arms.
You gotta say who's who.
But what does he do? He's like, you know what, Fletcher? You're not going to discourage me. And I'm going to go there. And while Fletcher's talking, what does he do? He goes right into the song. He's like, fuck you. And this epic battle between the antagonist and protagonist begin. And it's like a battle of good versus evil, like the master and the student. And I thought, like, this is it with sound. And I thought it was really cool. Though to me, the message is that there is some responsibility on you. You can only take talent and learning so far. The rest of it is, what are you going to do with the opportunity when the opportunity arises and it's in your face? What are you going to do? And I thought this movie delivers it through and through. I've seen it 3 times, and every time I see it, I'm motivated to do something with my life. All right, I'm done. Somebody else say something about this movie.
I was going to say, I don't really think, first off, I don't believe in talent. I just straight up don't. I
question talent as well, because there's something to be said about man hours.
Right, exactly. So I think the skill thing, you hit that part. I'm interested to hear what Dave's saying about, because I get what you're saying about, like, jazz is very improvisational and there is a funkiness to it. You know what I mean? Something that's just
Sure.
that this movie just straight up doesn't really show any of those scenes. It's very structured. But that's because he was a student. And then you have this, megalomaniacal, one of the most competitive people. Both. The other thing too about this movie, which is really interesting when you think about it, is they both have giant ego. Fletcher's ego's more than earned. This kid's is not, right, in any way, shape, or form. And and just like you were saying, Eric, about how the whiplash has double meaning. It could be the car accident, or it could be the whiplash of Fletcher's emotion, him throwing a chair out of nowhere, making people stay around until a room until 2:30 in the morning, just doing all these things. It's very interesting. I think that, and when you think about, like, for instance, like he won the Oscar. J.K. Simmons wins the Oscar because he acts like this crazy ass psychopath, and it kind of reminds me of Training Day, like with Denzel Washington winning the Oscar for acting like a complete psycho. Right, and both those movies have no reason to be as good as they are. But because they have those performances, it really, really, really does carry it. And just like I said earlier, I think just being obsessed with the obsession and watching the obsession of it, and then also the good acting and the good cinematography, it all just ends up being, it just almost like a perfect cocktail, it just ends up being good for, like, no reason.
You mentioned, it's funny that you mentioned Training Day, because that's with Ethan Hawke. J.K. Simmons was going up against Ethan Hawke for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in that year, because Ethan Hawke was in Boyhood in that same year, and J.K. Simmons won against him. So I just thought that was funny that you brought up Training Day.
Yeah, Boyhood's crazy too, because it's like 14 years of filming, and J.K. Simmons filmed for 19 days.
This movie was shot in 19 days. That's insane.
There's not a lot of sets in it, though. There's not a lot of camera work.
Not too many characters. Most of the characters are all kind of background characters. The main two are Andrew and Fletcher, and they're just kind of going back and forth.
This is a movie that's very compact, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of like one of the selling points. It's very intimate, and, like, I'm impressed with the camera work. Like, I'm really impressed.
Didn't it win an Oscar for the editing?
Editing is the good part of it. The camera work, they didn't do anything special. They didn't have any cool painting shots. They didn't. I almost got sick towards the end of this movie. Yeah, Brandon looks like his head's going to explode.
About? My first note is that the use of different camera lenses and the camera work itself is highly notable.
I didn't notice any of it. It was not noted here.
Did we not watch the same movie? Because, like, so it was cool. See, here's the thing about me. When I watch a movie, I get lost sometimes in the production and I lose track of the story. So I've seen this movie a few times, 3 or 4 times now. And this last time, I will say, I'm very impressed with how the director changes from, like, something like only like a 50 millimeter like lens, where he gets really intimate with, like, the blood and sweat, and, like, everything else is blurred out, but this one little isolated area is highly in focus. And he uses it on, like, the equipment of the musicians, of the drum kit, or even Andrew when he's playing the instruments and stuff like that. And I love when Fletcher is fucking with Andrew, and he will like take things away from him, and the cameraman is constantly moving around like he's looking. The intimate moments when the main character is going from like a talented student who gets invited into Fletcher's like studio and gets to kind of hang out with the pros at a higher level, he's isolated. And I thought the camera work was really good at always being at ground level, because it's never tall ever. It's always low. And if you notice, this is about following a drummer. And what does a drummer do? They sit. Everyone stands, but they sit. They're always down. And I love that the camera was always like kind of like in the context of what the drummer is kind of experiencing, and then how it isolates him. But then when he leaves the like studio room and he's in the hallway, they will get really intimate with his face, and kind of like you see like everything about his emotions. And I thought the camera work was really good, because I really was like emotionally invested in the first 20 minutes of all the characters that I've been exposed to.
It's funny that you say that, because the director said like this film is completely from Andrew's perspective. Like he is in every scene of this movie. They even cut a scene
100%.
showing Fletcher's like in his apartment or whatever. There was a scene in the original cut of this movie with a whole scene with J.K. Simmons by himself, but they cut that because this movie is supposed to be from Andrew's perspective.
That's kind of cool. I never noticed that.
So they really, like you said, Brandon, with the camera, they really get intimate with him, and they really make you feel his emotions throughout this whole movie.
But like when Andrew is introduced to Fletcher, and so Andrew's the protagonist, and Fletcher is like the conductor, studio head, or whatever, right? And he's putting together this like team of great musicians to perform some of the best work. And what we learn later on is he's trying to kind of find the great. He wants to find the great. Like, he's not going to be the great, but he wants to be the guy who finds the great and drive the greatness out of him. And what I like is that, like,
that's one way to put it, I guess.
But I gotta
drive the greatness out of him, beat the greatness out of him.
I have to address this. The language in this movie.
Oh, who cares about the language? He's a foul, crass guy, but does, like, towards the end, like at the end of the movie, yes, he becomes a great drummer or whatever, but do the ends justify the means?
That's the whole question of this movie.
He's got a kid's suicide. How many other people's lives has he ruined by being a complete fucking dick? But does that make it good because he made a great drummer because one kid didn't crack under all his? Let's be honest, like, I don't know. He quit drums, and the only reason that he came back was because he had that run in at the bar. All his shit was packed up and put away. I don't know.
So Fletcher lied. Did he lie about the one?
He lied about everything.
Musician?
He lied about everything. Even like the book that gets missing. Fletcher fucking stole the book. There's no way that
really? I didn't get that.
He stole the book.
They never say. A janitor didn't come by and pick up a book while a bunch of band geeks are running around and someone's drinking a Mark soda. Nobody else did that. Fletcher saw that. He had just mentioned before he said he was going to fucking demolish that guy. That he's like, I better not see another book around. He grabbed it because he wanted to push to see, because he thought he saw a little spark in Andrew and he wanted to try and push that. That's what that is about.
I like that twist that he took it. I assumed it was another band geek just grabbed it and was like,
he's so manipulative, like, throughout the whole thing. Like, we even see in that first practice with the studio band when he's calling out someone for being out of tune. Like, he knew he was calling this Elmer Fudd kid out, like, just fucking ripping into him because he was fat and like he was not doing his shit right, and like he knew he wasn't out of tune. But he still made him believe that he was out of tune and forced him.
Not knowing you're out of tune is worse than being out of tune of him. And I'm like, that's a cool standard. Mm-hmm. Because like all that guy had to say is like, no, I'm not. Then prove to me. Like, just that's all he wants is people just like own it. And they don't, because there's like a bunch of wimps, and there's no time for a wimp. So I mean, there's something to be said about that. I as a student of fine art, I went to school and I was rejected the first time to art school, because I just didn't know what good was. Like my mom said I was good, and my high school said I was good, but I didn't know what was really good to like the rest of the people who didn't know who I was. And rejection is tough, and you have to have some level of confidence and skill. So I mean, I can get behind what he's doing, but I'll tell you what though, how fucking cool was it though when he's like, I'll find you, and he's just like, you now you play. Nope, not you now you play. I love. It was like in Game of Thrones when like the mountain showed up and he's like pointing at people. It's like, you. He's like a villain. He's like a Vader character. Fletcher is.
He tells that one girl, he's like, "Oh, you got first chair. Let's see if you're cute. If you got first chair because you're cute." Plays 1 second. Yep. He's like,
yep.
And even like him using
That was good.
Like him getting close to Andrew when he first brought him in, told him to relax, which obviously he shouldn't be doing, getting information about his mom, and then using it against him later. That's the things he consistently did. But what you just mentioned there about being pushed, the second that when Andrew came late and forgot his drumsticks, but he's like, no, fuck that. That's my chair. Once he pushed back, Fletcher's like, no, it's my part and I lend it to you. But then he got this weird like sparkle in his eye. And I think they purposely did that because I don't know if they did it with a light or whatever, but he like, once he did, he's like, cool, get back here right on.
Oh, he broke the rules many times because he knows that the potential's there.
Oh, yeah.
This dance between the instructor and the student, I think it truly does pay off. But can we talk about Fletcher real quick? How do we not talk about J.K. Simmons' performance in this role?
Right. I was gonna say, without him, it like the whole movie falls apart. Like the best scenes are the only scenes with him in him. Without any scene without him is kind of, give or take.
Oh yeah,
I'll give you that, man. I mean,
and that's why he won Best Supporting Actor. And I don't think Miles Teller was nominated for anything in this movie. No. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
well, just like I was saying about the Training Day, and I should have added Devil Wears Prada in there.
That's a good movie.
That's another movie that shouldn't be as good as it is.
Yeah, Meryl Streep makes that movie, dude. Yep.
Exactly. So I think that those two movies and this movie added in there, those are like, just because it has such a good performance by a supporting person, it really elevates the movie to a different tier. It probably should be like a B or C movie, and it ends up being like mid, bottom A, good enough, 80%.
Not that Miles Teller did a bad job. I think he had a good performance, but it wasn't like memorable or anything.
I got to see a lot of his O-face, like constantly. Like I don't know about any other drummer on the planet, but that's not how you practice drums. You don't just keep slamming the cymbals until your hands bleed. Like that's not what happens.
It is cool though. It is cool though that Miles Teller is actually like a drummer and like he did all the drums for this movie.
Yeah, dude. I was watching the making of, and you do hear him now. The guy. So here's what's cool, right? This protagonist Andrew is good at drums, but he wants to be one of the best. But there's a huge learning curve ahead of him for the next level that he has. Not only does he have to go to the next level to prove that he's one of the greats, to be one of the greats with a capital G, he has to even do better, right? And when he gets there, they're mean to him. They're cold. They move quick. They're kind of like military trained. Like when Fletcher walks in, they all kind of like snap and they kind of shut down and don't say anything. There's a rotation. At one point, there's a rotation of 3 drummers. And I like this dynamic because when have you ever seen a movie where like Luke is kind of fighting with like 2 other potential Jedis that could take down the Empire? Like it doesn't happen. I like that this movie.
Sports movies.
This
movie, if you could swap out music for football or basketball, and it could be the exact same movie.
Where the protagonist has to fight across 2 other people, not 1 but 2.
If you're going for a spot on the team, you're going for something. They'll definitely absolutely make you compete.
Well, anyways, I like that that dynamic is added, for he just didn't get it.
I like when he gets the part. Like he gets the opportunity to go there. He's like, oh, cool, I'm going to be part of Fletcher's band. And then immediately goes to the movie theater to ask the girl out because he's like, fuck it, I won the golden ticket.
Yes.
It's
so relatable.
Covered in gold. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. But I will say this about that girl and him. They have the chemistry of a wet sandwich on screen.
I wrote down that the awkwardness between him and her.
I thought it was endearing. Like,
Oh,
I thought it
okay.
was more realistic. Like, it's a very realistic teenage
Interesting.
relationship.
So, like, I get what you're saying. So, like, the attractiveness, but they obviously have don't have any chemistry like they're supposed to have, but they're attracted to each other. So that part's kind of there. Okay.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah,
scenes are
maybe that's what I'm
cringeworthy
thinking.
almost, because I think it's purposeful, because he's trying really hard to kind of relate, and that's why even on the first date he's like, "But why'd you go there?" She's like, "I don't know. Why'd you go there?" He's like, "I went there because it's the best.
Well,
because I want to be one of the best." She's
right.
like, "Well, I don't know what I want to be." He's like, "How do you not
His
know
whole
what you
thing
wanna
is
be?"
that he literally has no friends or anybody else really except his
I
dad,
think it's sad.
because he focuses so much. He puts all his time and energy into this drumming, into this dream.
Paul Reiser's acting is actually pretty good, because he's so, like, when he gets bumped in the movie theater, he's like, "Sorry,
Mhm.
sorry." He's like, he's instantly a wimp. He's just given up on whatever he wanted to
Right.
be.
I
He's
love
just
that.
like, give in.
Paul Reiser's
You
a
can
good
see
actor. I think we forget.
Yeah.
Great
forget
actor.
about like all these these, because I think about Paul Reiser, I think about Mad About You, right? And I think about all these like sitcom actors that get these
I think aliens.
get like these like roles that you kind of like just think about those one or two movies. But the reason you think about them is because they were so good in it. Paul Reiser is another one of those people that are just so good in it. Like, and I loved him in this role. He was actually aside from J.K.
It's very
Simmons,
dad-like.
Exactly.
He's
Yeah.
such a good dad. Like, when he knows his son is like on that
He's
stage,
not-
he's got fucked
he's
over.
not
He
the best
ran,
dad.
and he held his.
I mean, well, he was
He's
he was trying to protect him because he knew he could see that Andrew was headed down this path. Because like that whole scene at the dinner table when he's going back and forth
Yeah.
with his cousins or whatever, and then he says like whatever 3 words you'll
it's
never
only
hear from the
it's only
NFL.
division.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so good.
And then his dad's
So
like
good.
3 years or 3 words you'll never hear from Lincoln Center, and like he just that crushed Andrew, because like he thought his dad was behind him the whole time, and then he just kind of slapped him in the face, but he was doing that to protect
In
him.
the beginning of the movie, he's a lot like his dad, but then after like the berating and of JK, after a while, you can see it starting to bring out like the aggressiveness in him when he starts talking shit because he knows what he's going through, and like the dudes playing football are getting all the attention or whatever, and he kind of just puts them in their place, which is kind of funny.
That's the part I don't like about this movie too, that I thought about a few times when I watched it. Like the band members in Fletcher's group. Do you guys remember any band members?
That's
like
a weak
that
spot
in
of the
college
movie
or high
where they
school?
don't bit like it.
Yeah.
Like it's like what was it, Eric, where the director made sure that the whole movie the whole time was following his perspective. It's like it's good.
Oh.
It's
I
good
think
when
they-
it's good. It really draws you into what he's feeling. But it could have spent a little more time doing a little bit more world building where
I think they did that completely on purpose. Like
to feel isolated.
Andrew is so isolated in his own world that he doesn't care about any of the other background characters,
Which is
in
kind of
his
like
life.
what Black Swan is, right, Fred? I mean, that movie
Yeah.
is like T for T, kind of. It's all about Natalie Portman and her thing, and there's not much room between her and like her mom
Her
and the
mom,
instructor,
yeah.
and then her competition.
I mean,
This
he's
movie is the same thing.
Andrew's he'll literally do whatever it takes to fucking get this spot in the band. Like we see at the end, or not at the end, it's like the middle of the movie when he gets in this horrific car accident on the way back to the competition, and he just literally just crawls out of the car, and the only thing he cares about is getting back there on time to get that seat and get the part. And like he's all fucked up, and like he can't even physically play the drums,
He
but
had
he's
5 minutes.
trying so hard. Yeah, it's insane.
How did
Yeah.
all that happen in 5 minutes? He was like, got to be like 20 minutes.
Well, the car
late.
place, I think the GPS at like from the car to the concert hall said it was like 10 minutes or something. So he had to drive back to the dealership to grab his sticks and then go back, and then he literally ran
But
the
the
rest of the way.
But Eric, the anxiety of this movie,
Dude.
it's like I've never experienced anxiety in a movie before.
My
I've seen this
anxiety
movie 3
levels
or
were off
4
the
times.
charts
Yeah, like
when I
I
was
just,
watching this.
I was so like, oh my god, this movie. Once it grabs a hold of you, it never lets go, because the way Fletcher behaves, it's like Jaws. You
In
never
that
know when the
first-
shark is gonna come out and it fucking scare you.
That's
And that-
true.
It's that first like practice with the studio band is when it all starts. Like when he
He just
first
throws the chair.
gets a taste of Fletcher. Yeah. Because I think Fred said, like in the beginning, he was being all nice to him, like telling him to relax and all this stuff. Like, oh, you're fine, do your
Have
best.
fun.
And
It's
then
so fun.
the whole little trouble there. Oh, not quite my tempo. Like it just, he gave him, enough chances, and then finally it brought it out. Like the real Fletcher, he literally threw a chair at his head.
Can I just say that like when Bloody Miles Teller with the drumsticks comes back, when he's like about to go walk through the door, I thought about that. I'm like, man, that'd be a really good Halloween costume. Just get some drumsticks, bloody up, some tucks. But then I also thought about it. Lose the drumsticks, grab a wig, and you got John Wick next year.
Oh,
Like,
Double
I was
costume.
gonna say, just grab a gun and you could go as Reservoir Dogs the year after.
there it is.
There's
you're
so
done.
many
Exactly.
bloody
Yeah.
characters in suits that you could pull off with that look.
It's pretty good.
Is there a villain in this movie? Because it early on it kind of teases us that
Absolutely.
Fletcher is the bad guy.
Do you think he's a good guy?
But hold on a second. If he's the bad guy in a story level, and when we're looking at a story, if Fletcher's the bad guy, that makes Andrew the good guy. But Andrew is so self-aware of what he wants to do. He even tells his girlfriend, he's like, look, I don't have enough time for you. You're mediocre. You've settled. I want to be one of the greats. You're going to get in my way. And he just is like cold to her. He's kind of cold to his dad. He's kind of a jerk. He even says like to the one guy, he's just like, flip my pages, bitch. He's just so like
self-absorbed.
like the way he acts. He acts like he's not
Listen,
a hero.
Fletcher and Andrew are both like incredible narcissists. Like they yeah,
deserve each
exactly.
other.
They deserve each other is a great thing to say, honestly. They deserve each other. And that's why at the end, that little battle dance, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, he just smashes the crashes right in his face. He's like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, I'm doing it now. And he's just like, you watch, because now I'm taking over.
I'll cue you in.
And you could see through like that ending scene. I don't know if we want to talk about it now, but like it's oh my god. Literally one of the best things I've seen.
One of the longest and overdone drum solos ever created. Unnecessarily long and ridiculous drum solos I would not have clapped for that.
It is really long. I thought about being an actual in physical person audience member, and I'd have been like,
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what is going on? Right? Yeah, I've always been like, if I go to a show, I went to like see Dead Mouse like a couple years back ago for my birthday, and he was like in this giant dome, and at some point in time the dome just stopped, but everybody else is partying and like having a good time, so no one noticed. But I see people keep running up to him. I'm like, something's wrong with the dome, and everyone's like, no, it's not. End of the show, he says, oh yeah, something was fucked up. Like the thing was pretty much messed up, and I thought about that too. Like if I was there physically watching this happen, I would have been like, there's something going on with the drummer and this guy. I'm just going to say, there's some subtext I really need.
Yeah. That's his fuck it moment.
Yeah. All right, but hold on, Dave. How did you react? How did you feel about when Fletcher came up to him and says, like, I know it was you, because like,
I know it was you, friend.
Well, you got to kind of like, if you're him, you tackled him on stage where you're bloody and got kicked out of school, and then all of a sudden, magically, a couple months later, he gets kicked out of school. You like, obviously, he kind of knows it was him. Like, it's pretty obvious.
Oh, fun tidbit about the tackle. J.K. Simmons actually suffered 2 cracked ribs when they filmed that
Really?
scene. Yeah, but
so J.K. was looking buff.
J.K. Simmons still managed to continue filming despite his injuries, which. That just shows he's badass in real life. But yeah, he was ripped out of his mind. I didn't think he was that jacked.
It's those tight black T-shirts he was wearing when he was
That
like,
helped, too.
zip.
But at the end of the movie, when they're like, getting to the ending part of the song, he takes his shirt off. I'm just like, I gotta see him yoked again. I'm just thinking about being an audience member at this composer thing. I'm like, dude, man, is really coming out with like.
He always takes the jacket off.
Always with the Popeye after spinach arms, bro. Like it was something, dude.
So I don't know. That ending is weird because he's saying they're playing. What do they call them? The standards, jazz standards. So they're like, they're like the songs that he played in his group. So if he's playing with, a comparable band or whatever, like the first song, like he acts like it's completely out of nowhere. Like he should have. Like, are you just practicing these 2 fucking songs over and over for your entire life? Or are you actually listening to other music? one of the things that I don't know bugged me.
At that point,
like they don't show him go to. He doesn't go to any other classes. He doesn't go to jazz appreciation or music or anything.
After the whole incident happened between him and Fletcher, he gave up drumming essentially. Like he packed up the kit and put it in his closet and hadn't touched it until.
And then he came back and
Fletcher again.
He showed up on stage and he was just all of a sudden magically fast enough because he had let his.
It's the drive.
His bloody hands had healed.
Haven't you ever seen anime? This is anime, basically.
There's a lot of, like I was saying to Brandon, we were talking about
top 10 anime boss
movies.
fights at the end.
Like action movies and superhero movies, you get like that suspension of disbelief. Like, he's Captain America. Of course he can bounce his shield off 3 things and back to himself. But there's a lot of suspension of disbelief in this one too. We're like,
it's comical. It's like cartoony almost.
A teacher would never be allowed to do any of that, like the militaristic, he would have gotten busted so long ago as soon as that shit started. But I don't know.
I had a teacher throw shit and make us do push-ups and do all that shit in high school. So I don't know. It depends on what you went to, I guess. But I was going to say, I think like with when it comes to these movies, like I was aiming at the Training Day and with The Devil Wears Prada, like there is a suspension of disbelief in the things they do. Like think about Denzel near the end of Training Day. He gets shot 100 times and he's still like half breathing. Not to mention the crazy fight that he was in earlier.
It's super dramatic.
It's super dramatic. Yeah. And in this
you need it for the drama.
Right. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. But to Dave's point, it did the same thing too. And I think I don't know anything about music like that. So I don't know if you could really pick it up and finally be on his fucking tempo. But I was there for it.
He did get out the kit before the show and practice like over that weekend or whatever it was. But listen, they had to build it up for the drama.
Let's be honest. The MVP of the ending is the stand-up bass player because he jumps in like an asshole. Yes, he jumps in like an asshole and starts playing because he knows that he's trying to fuck him. So he says, "Fuck you, my turn now." So he jumps in and he just, hey, just jump in on Caravan, 4th bar, like, I don't know, they yelled that out to each other. 4th bar, 55th lick or whatever, I don't know.
I don't know how any of them know what any of this stuff is. I know. I'm it's almost just like a suspension of disbelief because like, I mean, it could be grounded. I don't know, but we're all like, yeah, I don't know anything about fucking band music. So I guess this is what they go through. But like, if somebody just said any of these things, it'd be like the way they do this throughout the movie where the cameraman zooms in on like the sheet music and just zipping around like it's like his eyes. But like I play music. I took piano lessons. I play guitar and all that stuff. Like I don't look at music like, all right, what am I dealing with? But then again, I've never played on that scale before. But it's just it, and then you have a reference and these songs are pretty complex. So
I think not knowing personally, anyways, not knowing shit about music, reading music, and all that stuff, it makes it more impressive and more dramatic for me, anyways, because it's almost like mythical.
Yeah,
like I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It makes it that much more like dramatic and impressive for me.
I'm 100% with you, and then I think the music. I'm not into this kind of music at all, but I thought this movie in general, this music is fantastic. Dave, you were listening.
I've been listening. I was listening to this all day. I was listening to Jazz Big Band. It's fantastic, but I don't know. It makes me feel weird because like to be great is like, do you have to live a sad life? Do you have to be alone and get berated to be one of the greats?
That's the question.
There's no. I assume that musicians are musicians because they get joy and creativity out of their music, but there's literally no joy anywhere in this movie, really, except for when he gets into the band or whatever. But like, it sucks the life out of the music. It sucks the creativity out of the music.
As soon as you get comfortable, and he's even smiling, and they show him like kind of smiling, like, yeah, I made it. Every time he smiles, he's right there. Fletcher to pull it under the rug, just kind of fuck with him every time.
But he kind of wins. The bad guy kind of wins at the end of this movie.
Kinda. He gets his way.
Yeah, I don't know. He ends up not getting screwed over, and he ends up making the greatest drummer or whatever. So I don't know.
There was an interview with J.K. Simmons and the director Damien Chazelle. Is that how you say it?
You got it.
about the film's ending, and they said they wanted to inspire discussion and debate and not decide, are we happy for Andrew Neiman or are we lamenting his loss of humanity? The debate I love is how far is too far, how much is too much, is it worth it? So that's exactly what they wanted to incite in this movie.
Sure. All those are
Andrew
very
straight up
very
said
good
he'd rather be
questions.
dead at 39 over an overdose and have people talking around him and around a dinner table than
Exactly.
have no one remember him. So to him, that's what he wants. But I think we're touching on that earlier, and I think this is what I really love about media the last couple decades. When it comes like he's not even an anti-hero, you know what I mean? He's just a person, and we're seeing this happen. And same goes with Black Swan in that sense too. Like, we're just seeing it happen. We don't root for her. She might be the protagonist, but we don't really like her obsession is crazy, you know? And the things she's going through. And the same with this movie too. Like, his obsession doesn't make any sense. The way he completely throws off his girlfriend that he was the one that pursued. And then, you know, because he wants to do this was like so kind of evil, you know? And then the second that he gets kicked out of band, he like scrolls on the phone and like almost calls her again. I sat there. I'm like, don't you fucking dare call that little Arizona girl. She doesn't want, like, leave her the fuck alone. Let her figure out whatever she's doing, you know? But I think that's Hollywood's obsession with these kinds of stories, and any kind of stories that you can find like similarities with, is kind of trying to show how obsession really is solitary, at least in this one. And you know, as a person that I can get pretty obsessed about stuff. I mean, I've locked myself in my room for 8, 9, 10 hours just reading about podcast stuff, for instance, when I was trying to like learn about it. So, I mean, to me, I kind of do think that there is a little bit of tenacity you need to bring to it to really excel in it.
But Fred, this movie to me, it motivates me. Like this is an example of somebody. If the whole message of this movie is like, how far will you go, right? Or how far will you be pushed if you are pushed, or whatever. I think it's a motivational movie, because we're all afraid. We're all afraid of failure. We're all afraid of not even failing to other people, to ourselves. Like I like, am I mediocre? Am I going to be a nobody? Am I going to be forgotten? Legacy kind of shit. And this movie's just kind of asking that question. And as the viewer of this movie, because it's so intimate with Andrew's perspective, that when you watch it, how do you not think about yourself with your own personal goals, whatever it is that you want to do? So when you watch this movie, it's just like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I mean, like, this guy is just trying to be one of the great drummers. I'm a designer. Like, what can I do to be one of the great designers? Like, nobody even knows who designs. Nobody knows a designer. We know artists. We know musicians, maybe photographers, but people don't know designers. So it's just like, how far will you go to make a name for yourself? Who will you let go? Who will you deny access to you so you can achieve what you want to do? And to me, as an artist, I really connect with this character. Do I think I'm one of the greats? Fuck no. But I know the struggle. I know to see somebody better than me. And I know that, like, when I see somebody better than me, I fucking challenge the fuck out of them in my own time, so that when I show up next time, I'm better.
If you had somebody throw a chair at your face, you would design better. You would design a whole fuck a hell lot better. A wise man once said, "Every champion was a contender who refused to give up." And that's basically the summary of this story. Okay. Because this is
Dave.
Essentially Rocky Balboa, the drummer. Like, this is a Rocky movie, except with music.
Well, Rocky loses at the end of the first movie, but
wins.
yeah.
Or he ties, I think. He ties.
He loses.
Not
first one, he loses.
at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He loses to Apollo. You got to brush up on your Rocky.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
dude,
that.
you can't go. Yeah. Rocky 1 is all about him.
I'm gonna have to
losing.
Google
Because
that.
even Creed, he loses the first movie as well too. So that was the
homage.
Yeah, exactly.
To the
The
franchise.
homage.
But yeah, no, Rocky's all
by-
about proving that you're good enough to
By
contend.
judge's
It's a comeback
decision,
story.
that's what it was. That's why.
Oh right, yeah,
He
exactly.
didn't get knocked out. But, like, Rocky, if Mickey was an abusive asshole, that's...
Well, he kind of was.
yeah, a
little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been told that as a collaborative creator at times, and I had to like dial that back. Like, I like have people that I've worked with that were like, "Oh, you're kind of intense about this." A few years ago, when I started podcasting and wanting to like build agency and stuff like that, and I had to like take some courses and like actually like figure out like, oh, I need to praise more than I redirect. You know what I mean? And there's like stuff like that I had to like go back for my management training, because I've been a supervisor several times at other jobs. And you really do have to walk that fine line where you're like being kind to somebody, and then because you don't know what happens in their own head about that. You know what I mean? Even today, I'm working with a new client, and like they kept giving me notes and kept giving me notes. I'm like, just give it to me at the end. You know, I don't want to get, you know, railed all day being told how shitty I did this one part. This
consolidated feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Consolidated feedback. You know what I mean? And I think
I know.
it's going back to, you know, Brandon's point, you know, I think it does. I think being obsessed is a thing that does produce greatness. Think about Michael Jordan, obviously, in that sense. He's obsessed, and pretty much every single teammate of his other than Charles Oakley fucking hates his guts at this point. You know, but does he care? No, he's a winner. Right. He's rich. He doesn't give literally one fucking shit.
Keeps going back to the how far will you go question, like to be great.
Yep, exactly.
You guys really should see Black Swan. That's a great movie.
They haven't seen it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know if they have.
Oh yeah,
I have. Yeah.
What's funny, we keep comparing it
not,
because
Dave?
this movie, Whiplash, was originally written as a psychological thriller.
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
It would
I can
be
see
a
it.
lot more
Sure.
similar to Black Swan in that way, but they lean more towards the drama, a little bit more grounded. But
like the instructor in Black Swan, he's not anything like Fletcher. Where like in this one, Fletcher, I mean, like when he's like fumbling for his drumsticks when he was all banged up from the car crash, and he like shows up, the camera like is low and you can see him fumbling for the drumsticks, but when he sits back up to keep playing, Fletcher's like right there, like staring at him like a fucking villain, like Jaws. Just like, oh shit, you let your guard down. Oh my god, whoa, I almost got fucking killed.
It reminded me of Jurassic Park, the Velociraptor scene where they dropped the.
Oh yeah, dude. But that's what he's like. You never know where Fletcher is and what he's doing and what he's up to. And if he's stealing fucking like charts and stuff like that and kind of creating that,
he fucking stole
tension.
it. You heard it here first. He fucking stole that shit.
I believe you.
That whole scene with that, like the head wound, like how does he not get like another? I mean, obviously, I guess he tackled him after that, but I don't know, the fact that he's bleeding from the head and arm and all fucked up. Like, how do you not get like some sort of second chance out of that? But I guess you kind of fucked it up when you tackled him.
He should have just passed out. This is my theory. He should have just knocked out, woke up, had Fletcher right above him right then, being like, "You're still done, but hey, you know, thanks for running," or whatever the fuck it is.
Did you guys?
That was pretty intense. There was a lot of weird shit that happened.
Did you guys watch the short film as well that came first?
No, I know of the short film.
So I watched it.
And then
I watched it just before this. It's like, it's only 18 minutes long. But it's basically just a concept, proof of concept for this movie, because it's that same exact scene with the studio band, that when Andrew first practiced with the studio band. And it's like, it's crazy how similar it is. Like the line readings by J.K. Simmons are like exactly the same as they are in the movie and everything. And it's a little chilling. The only difference is Andrew is played by Johnny Simmons instead of Miles Teller in the short film. So they have a little bit different takes on the character. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like the version in the short film, he's more like hopeful and like bright-eyed a little bit. And I feel like the Miles Teller version of Andrew is like more narcissistic and egotistical, like we were saying. So it's an interesting. It's interesting how they changed the character of Andrew a little bit between it. But I would say it's worth a watch. It's only 18 minutes. You found it on YouTube.
It's like knowing that like Napoleon Dynamite, right? There's like if you go on YouTube, there's like a 15-minute version of Napoleon Dynamite before the movie was made. And you can see where like, oh, that's great. Let's make a movie out of that. You can go and see this on YouTube, Napoleon Dynamite, and he's just like buying like a fanny pack with like Pedro or whatever. But
Damien Chazelle couldn't get funding for this movie, so it was actually one of like the 100 scripts that people want to make, but no one was giving them money. So he just made the short one, put it to Sundance. And it's talking about the line reading that you were just mentioning. I think there's only one improvised line, which is crazy when you hear J.K. Simmons spit out those lines. You're like, for sure he's saying some of those things off top of his head, even the homophobic stuff and everything. I'm like, okay, J.K. But then he said, I guess the only line that was improvised was when he calls him a self-righteous little prick.
I saw that.
I'm just sitting there thinking about J.K. Simmons like fucking hating Miles Teller's guts and thinking he's like some self-righteous fucking.
Oh, another fun tidbit: the part where he was slapping him with doing the rushing and dragging part. Like at first they were doing the miming slaps, like J.K. Simmons wasn't actually slapping Miles Teller, but on the final take they agreed to actually do like a real slap, and that's the one that they used in the movie. So that made it a lot more believable.
Please, yeah, come on,
please, guys.
Yeah, come on, you can take some slaps.
So that was interesting.
Better seeing that than his practicing face, because I've seen that so many times throughout this movie. You don't need to focus on that anymore.
You know what's interesting though is like John Mayer on Hot Ones was getting asked about the best guitar faces, and he said something so interesting. He's like, "Oh, you can't help it. Whatever face you do when you're playing music, you can't help it." So is that not? I don't know. I feel like I could trust John Mayer for saying that. Is that, you don't believe that's a thing?
Well, it's just, I don't know. Most of them were during like his training montages where he's just like trying to play as fast as he can. He's just going, looks like he's just about to come. Looks like he's coming every single time they show him practicing.
Yeah, it's definitely his O face for sure.
Which is,
I saw that, especially in the last song where his face is kind of, but like
it happens eight times during the movie.
But Dave, I mean, you do make weird faces when you play your instruments because your brain is not paying attention to what you look like. Your whole essence is in the song.
Yeah,
and you lose yourself. That's what happens.
Fine. Sure.
You just never know what your face is going to look like. Well, I don't know. What are you going to do? Learn accordion or something? I mean, what are you playing over there?
Playing guitar.
But yeah. All right, then let's see your O face. We will put that on Instagram. Dave is going to record a video of himself just shredding some song, and then we'll capture his face, and then you'll understand what happens.
An acoustic cover of Freebird solo.
Oh, please,
just
dude.
go for it.
Go.
It's more like a De Niro.
Better
I think.
be Wonderwall, David.
It's a De Niro kind of look. It's like a De Niro, like chin, like a downward smile almost. You know,
I do the Radiohead one eye kind of like twitches a little kind of thing. Whatever. That's what I do. I don't know. But half of my face when I play songs, I kind of like start closing, and I don't know. It's weird. Anywho, so who do you think this movie is for? If we were to like, it's like there's a movie. Yeah, it's called Whiplash. I like movies. All right, Whiplash is a cool word. What about it? So what's the name of a song? It's about a drummer. It's about this kid. There's a really crazy instructor. Blah blah blah. If you were kind of like to sum up this movie while giving out like, you know, kind of like big plot points, who is this movie for? Like, how do you even? Because I think it's such like a great, like, to me on paper it sounds like a movie I would not watch, but here I am like recording, and I'm like, this is a great movie, and it has nothing to do with the plot. It has everything to do about like the story and the journey and the experience. I guess I don't know. Like,
I mean, I couldn't see myself watching this movie if we didn't do it for the podcast, just because I don't know. I didn't really have much of an interest in it. Like, I knew that it was highly acclaimed and it won, you know, some Oscars and everything. But I was like, like you said, jazz music, I'm not really into. I don't know. I don't think I would be into this that much. But I was pleasantly surprised that I really enjoyed this movie. It's like you said, it's less about the music and more about the characters and the drama and like the inspiration and the desires to be great and all this stuff. So there's a lot of meanings behind it other than just the music. It's not really a movie about music. I mean, it is, but there's many more layers underneath the surface there.
I would say it's for like anyone that, if you liked Harry Potter and you enjoyed Snape in there, there's no reason you wouldn't like this movie. There just straight up is no reason. If you like Matilda and you thought that the teacher, the warden, was like an actual like scary character and well done, there's no reason you wouldn't like this movie. Like, if you like those like crazy, obsessive, over the top kind of like performances, Training Day, Black Swan, Devil Wears Prada, there's zero reason why you wouldn't like this movie.
I can see how it might turn some people off, like the abuse and everything.
the homophobic comments and calling like that stuff. Especially this.
I forget how vulgar he
Yeah,
is, and it's just like
bad. It's pretty bad.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of my friends who may have offense with this. I'm like, would they?
I was offended.
Like, I don't know.
And I'm straight, and I was offended. And I was just like, holy shit, you can't say that to people. But I think that helps with the whole him not being. I think a lot of times, like, people will not understand a villain is a villain, and that's why they're portraying those things. Like, there are people that say stuff like that to people, unfortunately, and that's just the thing. So, I mean, I heard someone call somebody, the F word, literally the other day at Sprouts. They were just like two kids and like maybe 16 skateboarding and called, said that. I was like, holy shit. It's just every 16-year-old boy that's ever existed has said it at least once. So
that's true. But like Fletcher, even like this one guy comes in the room and he's like trying to get everybody ready. And he's like, not now, get the fuck out of my, like, get not now, mini-me. Like, I can still see
fucking
you.
Demolish
or something. He's like, I will demolish you. But it's just like, dude, he just walked in the room and he has done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
How can you behave like this? Yeah, it's weird. Like the language he uses, the homophobia, like it's crazy. But like at the end, I take all those evil things he did, kind of like Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. Like, I kind of forgive you in the beginning of this journey because here we are at the end.
Because he made a good drummer.
I mean, he realized. Yeah,
I don't know.
So to be great, you got to have a horrible person pushing you.
Can we talk about your Games of Thrones references? Are you like you do celebrate the whole discography, or are we just gonna where the references are all up until season 5, right? That's all we're talking about, these references, right?
Well, that's when the show started to show us weaknesses from season 5, and then
just show, huh? Well, okay. All right.
But I've only read the first 2 books.
Oh,
Dave, I think, has read.
I read them all.
All of them?
I've just seen the show.
All
Eric,
that have been
have
released.
you read?
Yeah, I've just seen the show. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so we got a mixed bag here.
Okay. I was just okay.
Yeah.
You've
read the books?
Yeah, and the what they did to Tyrion in the show is a crime in every sense of the word. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I know. I noticed after like the second book that the Tyrion character kind of like he's not as good as the
once he got the scar and they left his nose. I was like, they fucked it up. It's already over.
I totally agree. Yeah, Blackwater.
Done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would love to talk about Game of Thrones. It's a show that has the same kind of energy, same kind of like you really get invested, but I don't know. It ends in a way. It's a mess, but also the books aren't finished,
and they never will be.
Books will never be. They never will be finished. Let's be honest.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
I hope like in its will, it's like he has like the last.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right. It just seems so weird that somebody could put out like 3 books within 6 years and then just like, oh cool, I guess I'm paid enough, and now I'm just not gonna do it.
I mean, unless this new series like because they have the prequel kind of story.
Oh yeah, that's right,
about the Targaryens. But it's like it would be like watching Avengers. All the like all the Marvel stuff going together, and then like a hiatus happens. You can't do that. Once you get that momentum going, you got to deliver. And of course, like Marvel was fortunate to deliver on the final 2 movies as far as the one phase goes, and kind of now rolling into this new era with other movies. But still, with Endgame, Infinity War, it was incredible. But with Game of Thrones, they built up to something. They didn't deliver on that final season, and it was clearly obvious it was all about like the issues that they were having with the production of it, and we haven't seen Game of Thrones in any capacity since. Now I know there's another show, but like it's lost. Like a movie like this, like we just saw Whiplash. The whole movie is like a roller coaster ride, but it's like it's a complete package. It works as one movie. And some things, when you make something as good as it is, because this movie's got great reviews and it's got a huge following. We'll never see a sequel, nor do we need to see a sequel. But like sometimes you'll get everybody to agree that this is great, but it's either you deliver and then you keep going, or you don't deliver or something. And I just think something like Game of Thrones.
Sometimes I love just like
it's not gonna
like you say, Brandon, one-off things like this. Like there's no investment that you have to make leading up to Whiplash. Like there's a short film, you could watch that, it's 18 minutes, whatever, but like Whiplash is just Whiplash. That's the thing. You don't have to like invest in this whole entire franchise with all this history, backlog and everything. It's like The Lighthouse too. Like it's just a one-off thing, self-contained. You watch it and that's the experience, and then you could watch it again or as many times as you want, and you might get different experiences out of it every time. But like, I don't know, sometimes it's refreshing just to have a really good, just self-contained one-off story, and then they leave it as it is. Like you won't see I hope we don't see a sequel to Whiplash. We don't need a sequel.
No, it ends right where it needed to end. It ended greatly.
I'm so glad there was
like,
nothing
that's how
after.
it ends.
I'm so happy with how it ended. Like like they didn't need an additional scene after with like Fletcher and Andrew talking it out and whatnot. Like where it ended was
it ends
perfect.
literally like him hitting the drums too. He doesn't stop at the end. Like he's still hitting it, and then it just cuts out. It's perfect in that sense. You know, I was just thinking about Parasite recently too, because I really love that fucking movie and I think it's fantastic. I heard they're doing an HBO show. So we're talking about IP that doesn't need to keep going. I'm like, fuck, why are you guys doing an HBO show? Though it being on HBO gives me some hope it's okay, but I don't know. We'll see.
I do believe in HBO for sure. I'm with you on that. Well, all right, we've been talking about this movie for almost an hour. Fred, just because you're our guest and you helped me pick this episode, like, truly, there's a lot of good movies out there. What makes this movie so great? If you could just kind of sum up a movie like this, we just talked about it, we just gushed about it, other than Dave, but we all gushed about this movie. Like, what is it about this? What was this lightning in the bottle? Because not just us liking it, like everybody pretty much liked this movie. What is it about this movie that just worked? Because it shouldn't. On paper, it shouldn't.
Yeah,
I feel like it should not work.
It's all JK. Yeah,
drummer.
That's
it
it.
literally is. Without JK, this whole entire movie falls apart.
Yep. And just like the other obsessive movies I was talking about, Devil Wears Prada, Black Swans, Training Day, they just has one really good performance, and it makes a B script into an A script, and that just makes it worth the watch. Plus, it's short, and I think a lot of movies just you guys all have families. I don't have an attention. I have an attention span of a fucking 12-year-old. Like, I'm like, give me an hour and a half movie, and I'm good. You can tell the story an hour and a half, 2 hours, perfect. Anything more, I'm like, what's the bloat? What's the extra? Let's just get past it. It's quick. It's easy to the point, and it makes you think, and it makes you have a conversation, and it makes other people that you watch it with have a conversation as well. So I think that makes it a good movie and worth the watch.
Well, that's true. There's not a lot of fluff. Like a lot of there's I don't know. I still don't think the cinematography in here was anything special, but there's none of those like long sweeping landscape shots that take like 15, 20 seconds and shit like that.
Well, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, but I mean that's just why it's nice and compact, because there's no like wasted space at all. There's none of those like long drawn out like Lord of the Rings people running across a hill for 2 minutes.
You're reminding me of like the awesome intro where it's just showing the city and just showing the scale and the wonder, and it's just got that cool beat, and it's just, I don't know. I thought that was kind of fluff.
That's barely fluff. That's more like scene building. Like what Eric was saying about how they didn't add like Fletcher's apartment scene. Like they literally stripped fluff out of the movie just to keep it singular, and I think that really helps. Whereas like Training Day has a really like the bus scene with him getting to the hood, like that's 3 minutes longer than it should be. I'm just straight up saying it.
This movie keeps moving. Like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like I just wanted to see what happened next. I mean, they had the little break with, kind of the relief in the middle there is like the date with like Andrew and Nicole. That's kind of the slow part, quote unquote.
The lawyer scene was a little slow too.
Yeah, but that was at least doing a little bit of character building with Andrew and everything. So there was a purpose to that scene. But like, other than that, I was on the edge of my seat this whole movie.
Yeah. What else could we talk about this movie? Other than if you've listened to us talk about this movie and you haven't seen it, sorry, we ruined it for you, but still go watch it. It's such a ride. And then you decide if it is worthy of all the praise or not. But I want to thank you guys for talking about this one. It was such a fun movie to watch again. It was so cool to like
Dave's
what I've learned What I've learned about Dave is that Dave enjoys different movies than I do.
Depends.
I'm realizing here, but
like you compare the cinematography in this to like The Lighthouse, and The Lighthouse could just blows this thing out of the water. Like, I don't know.
sure.
The Lighthouse,
But the
is a
visuals
less,
of that movie,
Yeah,
is a less
It
it was
digestible
visually
film.
interesting.
Like,
This one was just, I don't know.
yeah,
Whatever. Go listen to the soundtrack too, because the soundtrack is amazing.
yeah, you'll walk out of something with this movie, either the performances or the music.
I actually had it.
I think I'll make my wife watch this movie just as an excuse to watch it again.
I feel like you can
Yes.
get anyone to watch this movie and be pretty much okay with it, whether or not they love it or at the end of it. Lighthouse is a tough pill. to swallow
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
people.
that's true. It's
Like,
a
it's
little
just-
artsier.
Yes.
Yeah, like I remember having. I think I did the witch one too, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Vitch, 2V. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. He
My
did two movies, and they're yes.
My girlfriend watched that movie first because our friend told us to watch that, and then we watched Lighthouse later on because Robert Pattinson, and she was like halfway through, she's like, "Is this the same fucking guy from that witch movie?" And I was like, she just knew, she just fucking knew. I was
That's
like,
good.
yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
she's like, yeah, it's the same guy. I'm like, she's like, I'm never watching another fucking movie by that guy.
All right, well, that was Whiplash. I had a great time talking about that. So let's move on. Let's get into a final act here, which we can have a little bit of fun because that movie was high anxiety, and I don't know if it's as good as that movie is. I don't know how enjoyable it is. It's not like I'm like in a great mood. I'm just motivated, maybe, but I want you guys to be motivated because Dave is going to host video game 20 questions.
Absolutely.
Right? Dave?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the three of us are going to work together to kind of beat Dave in whatever game he picks. So let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll play video game 20 questions.
Fletcher stole the book.
We have returned, and we have returned with a game. And Dave, I am so excited because you're going to be hosting something I've always wanted to do, which is video game 20 questions.
Yeah,
We've
let's
done
do it.
movie
Have you never played?
20 questions.
Not on the
We
show.
I
haven't played
haven't.
this yet, huh?
No, this is
Oh.
the debut. So Fred, buckle up, partner, because you, Eric, and I are going to try our best to figure out what video game Dave has selected.
I want it in sub 10 questions.
Okay,
yeah.
There's a lot
You
of
guys-
pressure.
You guys
I'm
get
really
this in
bad at
sub
games.
10. I'll be proud of you. All right, I got a wiki page pulled up. You guys can just start firing away, I guess, whenever you're ready.
Was it released before the year 2000?
No, after the year 2000.
Okay. Was it released after the year 2010?
No.
Okay, so 2000 to 2010.
So okay, hold on.
It's a
Is
good
this
decade.
is this an exclusive video game? Exclusive to like
console
PlayStation,
exclusive.
Nintendo. Yeah, I'm sorry, console exclusive.
On the wiki page, it says it was released on one platform.
Was
I don't
this-
know.
I would say that's
I don't know if it got
exclusive.
ported over eventually to something else.
All right,
Was this? Yeah, was this released for the Xbox 360?
It has to have been, but right here it says no.
Okay, well now you're tripping me up.
all right. Hold on a second. So what is that? PS2, Nintendo,
Okay, so it's 2000 to
Nintendo
2010.
Wii.
That's a decent amount. PS3, Wii.
Is it a
360.
first person or
Could
third
be
person
PS2 too.
kind of game?
Which one of those are you gonna ask?
Ooh, is it a first person?
No, it is
View
not
game?
first person.
Okay.
So that means it's third person because
Well,
if it was something else,
hold on.
it's third person.
Not necessarily.
There
It could
are
be
other.
top-down.
There
It
are
could
other.
it could be a puzzle game. It could be a fucking fighting game. It could be anything.
Oh, I thought the way he reacted, it was like he wants you to distinguish which one you're asking for, because one of those two. But I want you to. But maybe I read that wrong. Okay, all right, that's fair.
So
One,
not first
2,
person.
3,
We
4.
know that.
That's your first 5 questions.
First 5.
Oh, wow.
Is this a third person video game?
No, it's not third person.
All right,
See?
well, there you go. All right, so it's a puzzle. But hold on a second. What is a car racing kind of like Forza? Because I can be first
Third
person.
person
I can be third
or
person.
first person. Yeah. It'd be
But it's
either
also
or.
a racing game. Like, what would you? If I said is Forza? Whatever. Dave, don't answer that.
Depends how you
That's-
play
that's
for
a-
Forza.
it's a tricky
I
one.
don't know. You can play Battlefront
Yeah.
in first or third too, but I don't know.
Yeah,
True.
it could
Yeah.
swap perspectives. So not first or third. So something abstract could be like a top-down type strategy game or
it
god
could
game.
be a side scroller too. I guess
Could be a side scroller. Yep.
Oh, could be retro.
Is it a side scroller?
Wait. Yeah. You could ask that.
It is not a side scroller.
So it has to be top.
I guess
down.
going
What
off of
is
this,
there?
going off of that, is this a 3D game, like without 2D graphics?
There are
Makes
3D
sense.
graphics in this game.
Okay.
Okay, hold on a second. We're getting out of control. How many questions have we asked?
That was 8.
Now I'm
I don't think
That's
we're gonna
8.
get
All right,
on
hold on.
this.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, so
We need genre.
What do we-
We need genre.
okay, yeah. All right. Is this an action or adventure video game?
Pick one.
That could
Action
be
or
yes or
adventure?
no.
I don't
That's
know.
a yes or
yes
no.
or no. Is this game an action or
No.
adventure video game? No. Okay, great. So it could be sports, puzzle, or
Is this or strategy, something like that?
yeah, strategy.
Is this a I feel like we're gonna go down a genre hole. Is this a puzzle game?
No. It is not a puzzle game.
I'm not. I don't know if I'm getting mad or competitive. I'm like, fuck, this is good.
It gets starts to get deep.
Not a puzzle game. Okay.
So he said it had to be on 360 ported, but it says it's not on there. So it's.
I'm on the wiki
seems
page
like it's
for it, and it's got one platform.
Fuck.
Trying to think. Is this
Wait.
you said it's
hold
not
on a
an
second.
action or adventure game. Never mind.
Well, hold on a second. Like, we're thinking console, but they could be phone. So should we narrow it down that it's even like PC, console, or like mobile?
Well, we
Is that
asked.
stupid to ask.
Well, what did we ask?
That's
We
3
asked
questions.
if it was console exclusive, right? And the answer was no.
Right here,
So it could be-
right here it says
It could be PC.
right here it says one platform on the wiki page that I am on.
It could be PC still.
And Eric, think about it. Like, he's not. If it was like a big franchise game, he would know. If it was like it's Mario, it's not Mario because he would know it's only on a Nintendo console, and he's like making sure that it's only on one console. You'll never see Mario on Xbox.
Yeah, well, yeah.
PlayStation.
It's not.
So it's not like it's not
a big.
exclusive
It's not a
that
big.
we know.
It's not a big platform exclusive or anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's a smaller one.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Hold on. I'm
Wikipedia
stuck on
never
gen-
lies, so I'm just going by Wikipedia.
You're confusing me, Dave. You keep quiet.
I'm stuck on genre. Is this a? The only thing.
Is it part of-
The only thing.
Wait,
Other
is
thing
it
I
part
can.
of a franchise? Is it part of a franchise?
Oh,
Could
good
we ask
question.
that?
Good question.
Good question. I like it.
When you ask that,
Yes, it is part of a franchise.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I like that. Okay.
I like
I don't know
it.
if that helps us.
It helps 0%.
yeah,
I think it helps.
I like it.
it's good enough that they make
it takes
more
out
of it.
it doesn't take out all indie games, but it takes out most indie games. Like it's not. I'm thinking
Okay,
like
okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's not Hollow Knight,
right.
obviously. Right.
It's not
Which,
Hades.
by the way, Hollow Knight fucking rules.
Hollow Knight's great. Artwork is fantastic in that, and it's hard.
What other genre could is it? A strategy game?
No.
So there's like
fuck?
fighting games, racing
So wait,
games,
that's
sport games.
the strategy game thing is huge though, because I was thinking about that too. Like, so if it's not strategy, so it's obviously not Citizens or
Yeah,
let's see here.
and it's not first person or third person.
Do you kill?
What are we
kill
missing?
Things?
You were on
Do you kill
question
things in
13.
this video game? Did we kill things in this video game?
No.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So it's a puzzle game, right?
We already asked that.
Oh, we did ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What the
Is
fuck
it
is this?
I know. So like a sports game is the only thing I
I'm
can
thinking,
think of where you don't.
sports or driving.
If it's not puzzle, then it's sports, or it's a kids game.
Oh,
Little Mermaid. Remember?
But you were.
I forgot what game we were playing.
Fred,
but I
you
guessed
asked if
Little
this was a 2D platformer, so it eliminates a lot of those innocent games
Yeah,
and like the 2D.
It has 3D graphics.
It is part of a franchise, so
Part of a
like you said,
franchise.
Eric, it gets rid of a lot of indie games in general. So it's like
It's
Mario kills things; he steps on Goombas all the time. It's like
I'm
his
thinking
job.
like it's like I don't know. The genre thing is
But it's
really
is it
throwing
third
me
person?
off. No, we said it's
What it-
not first person. It's not third person. It's not
a puzzle
It's
game.
not a puzzle game. It's not action. It's not strategy.
So a sports game, but like, what is a sports game? What kind of perspective is that?
What sports game is just
view?
on-
What is this?
One-
Madden 07? What the fuck are we doing here?
International
Dave,
cricket.
Is this a sports game? And I include racing as
it's
part
fucking
of a
farm.
sports game.
I don't
it's
think it's a
fucking farm
sports game.
simulator. Watch.
It's not
I
a
don't think
sports
don't
it's
game.
ask that. It's
No,
not a sports
because that would be multi-platform instantly.
Mhm.
Like we
Always.
would know that would be multi-platform.
Question 15. You guys are starting to get nervous. I can see you shaking and jittering over there on either
We're
side.
Hold on.
Fuck.
Let's slow
Brandon
it down.
can't
a
sit
little bit.
still. Question
it down a little bit.
15.
All right. Let me think about the. I'm trying
you
to
don't
think
kill-
about the big
you don't
games
kill
that were released.
things.
Yeah, don't kill things. It's not. It's not.
It's
First
not a
person.
side scroller. It's not first person. It's not third person.
Yeah.
Did
what
we
the
ask if it was
fuck?
top down?
I mean, not yet.
I'm not asking. I'm just.
I just don't know what genre that would be if it was top down because I feel like we've
Oh, I'm thinking about, like, the
eliminated
early-
most genres.
What's top down? Like is hockey
Grand
top
Theft Auto
down? Like,
1
I
and
don't-
2.
Yeah, 1 and
Well,
2.
this is-
Yeah, the P. Yeah.
I mean, this is 2000 to 2010, so
A lot of cool stuff came out in those years.
it's not a strategy game. What
Yeah.
the fuck? What kind of game is this? You don't kill things.
I don't know. I don't know, Baby Yoda. You tell me.
It's not a puzzle game.
What is it?
Fuck.
Just give up. You can always just give up.
No, I'm not giving
No.
up. I'm not giving up.
No, I'll go all 20.
Giving up. Yeah. Fletcher.
I
You know,
still-
at first,
I feel
when
like
we
if we nail the genre, we can narrow it down pretty quickly because we know a lot of other information. But I don't know what to ask for genre. Like driving?
You asked if it was on a 360 exclusive. Did we ask direct questions on what console it wasn't on? Did we find out?
No, but I don't want to hunt and peck and use our
Wait,
last
is this-
questions for
what-
console.
Can I
No,
ask
I'm
if
just-
this is a walking simulator?
Well,
What is
that would be third or first person.
Yeah, and we know
true.
that's not.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Is it?
Man, fuck.
now I'm
Fuck you,
thinking-
Japanese
Dave.
versus
Fuck
American?
you, Dave.
Well, now,
Yeah, that's
now I'm
good.
thinking like a driving game because what else is left? Like, you don't kill people in a driving game. It's
No,
technically
I
not
said sports
third or
game,
first
and I
person.
include. I said, is this a sports game? And I include racing into this, and he said it's not a sports game.
Okay.
So he said no to racing.
This is a
Console
stumper.
exclusive.
What about like Mortal Kombat?
That, you,
Like it's a fighting game.
you kill people in that all the fucking time.
Yeah, true.
Oh,
what
yeah,
about what about like something like Celeste? Like you don't kill anything there. You grab
Not 2D.
strawberries.
Not 2D.
Oh, it is.
platform.
Fuck.
Yeah, we. What other genres are there?
It can't be like The Witness, even though you don't kill
Nope.
anything in that
No
because
puzzle
it's first
game.
person.
No,
yeah.
and the witness is first person.
Yeah.
Puzzle game. Yep. What the
It
fuck?
can't be. It can't be. Could it be something like Inside's 2D as well?
Yep. 2D. Yeah.
And that's definitely not one platform. That's for sure. They fucking,
And franchise, it's a franchise. It's a successful
No.
game.
it's not a franchise.
So it is.
No, it's not.
It is
They
a
have
franchise.
Inside. No, it's not. I know everyone thinks it is. It's not because Inside is one. The other one's
Oh no,
separate.
no,
Oh, no, I'm talking about
saying
the
game that we're trying to figure
the
out.
answer.
Oh,
Oh, the
I'm
game.
saying the game we're trying to figure
Okay.
out is a franchise. Yeah,
I can't. Is it?
yeah. So
What the fuck?
it's got to be something that's like known.
Like, I keep going back to like puzzle games, but he said it's not a puzzle game.
And it's based on a franchise, so
You're
like
a
it could be
puzzle
like
game.
Star Wars.
You're a puzzle.
It could be based on like superhero stuff.
What
if
camp-
we like?
So
Is
it
there
one of those-
multiplayer? Like, can we
What
ask
if you
that?
gave up?
Like, is there? No,
What if you-
Dave. Is it multiplayer?
Is that a question?
Yeah, like
I'll take it,
co-op.
yeah.
Yeah,
Full
there-
there is
Okay,
multiplayer in this game. Yes.
There is
Okay.
multiplayer in this game.
The view thing is what fucks us up. I don't understand
Yeah, I know.
what view it could be.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we've
16,
eliminated
17, 18,
we've eliminated top down, we've eliminated third person, we've eliminated first person, we've eliminated
2D,
cars, racing games. We've eliminated
2D
yeah.
platformer.
What is left?
Rock, paper,
And
scissors.
I know, like, as a person that listens to this podcast, sometimes I'll be shouting the answer, and a couple of times I've been completely right. And I know, and there's no fucking way any of you guys' listeners actually knows what the answer is right now. That's how much of a stumper
I
this
mean,
one is.
maybe
somebody
someone.
knows this.
If someone does, please at me at Podbod, 3
Okay.
Ds at the end.
How
of
many?
it, at Twitter.
What question are we on?
As you listen to this episode, just
You're on 16.
tell us.
Okay. All right.
You have 4 more questions and
We
a
c-
guess.
we
Or
can
you
get
can
Could it
just
be-
quit
what-
now.
what
Well,
was
three questions,
Yeah, we
I
can do
guess.
this.
Technically,
What
Like,
was the-
okay?
What was that like? What was that? Like tile game? You know what I'm talking about? Like, not tile. Is it a card game, like Gwent or something?
oh,
That's not
card
really a
game. I
view.
didn't think a card game.
But it has to be part of a franchise.
yeah, what
Gwent
card?
is part of a franchise.
Well, that didn't come out in 2000 to 2010.
Sure, it's part of.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
years.
that's right.
Shit.
Ooh. Yeah, that's right. This is older. Yeah.
Oh well, fuck me and call me Sally.
I was gonna say card game is a good call, but what, like Uno? Is it Uno? You know,
Yeah, because it's not a puzzle game.
I mean Uno's
and you don't
technically
kill
a franchise.
things, really.
I don't know what games you guys are Uno games you guys are playing, but everyone dies in Uno that I've played. Every single time.
Wasn't there a really popular Uno game on like XBLA or whatever back
There
then?
was. It was
Is
good.
this-
They used
It
to
was
they used
good,
to have
yeah.
like the
It's still
cameras
around.
on. when
Yeah.
you're, like,
Yeah, that's
somebody
true.
was-
Didn't you like
Yeah.
see dicks and stuff on there?
Yeah,
I did not see
yeah,
dicks,
probably.
Probably, yeah.
So is it Uno?
Yeah, it's,
All right, hold on a second. Do we want to ask if this is a game, like a game? Well, no, but like, is that a puzzle game?
Did you just
or
say?
what?
Do we want to ask if this is a game?
No, like a game, like a
a
card game,
card game?
instead of shooting game. Yeah.
I'm out of genres.
would it be like something like could it be something like Tetris? Tetris isn't one.
It's a
console,
puzzle
though.
game.
That's a puzzle game.
Yeah, true. Fuck.
That's what I was thinking.
Is
like
all right,
Bejeweled
Dave?
or
Is
something.
Dave? Is this franchise still out and active today?
Good question.
Hold on, let me
Is
check
it
one.
is it still releasing games today?
What's the boundaries of 3 years, 2 years? Games take a while.
I
to
would
make.
say
Within the
yeah, I would
last
say-
couple years,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good
Okay.
question. I would, yeah. Is it relevant? Are they still making knowingly
Like either
like, we
one
know that they're making
or one's
another
in
one?
development. Yeah, something like that.
I would say no.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
boy, a dead
Um,
franchise.
Let me see. I don't know when the last game actually came out.
We
I would
should
say
be able
no.
to get this. It's clearly a franchise, like well known. Had to be successful if it's a franchise.
Well, I don't know. Look at the Metroid games.
You kill
That's
stuff
a
in
good
Metroid.
point. Yeah.
Oh my god! What the heck is this, man?
Oh, looks like I picked a good one.
Hey, did you know this was a good one when you picked it? You were like, "There's no fucking way they're gonna get this."
I mean, it's possible. Certainly,
I
it's
should have.
possible.
I should have asked. I've been swearing like a sailor. I'm so sorry.
No,
I
I'm
should've
pretty
asked.
sure-
I
I'm pretty
apologize.
sure-
We swear all the.
I
fucking
don't want to
time.
give any hints.
No
No
wait,
hints.
this
I
game
want to
doesn't
win.
involve. We don't get any lifelines on this. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
No, just
You're
20
each other's
questions.
lifelines.
What number are we at right now?
You're on 17.
Oh,
17,
we
18,
have 2
19.
questions.
Oh, so
17, 18,
three
19, 3 more.
three
3 more.
questions and then a guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's multiplayer, guys.
It has multiplayer in
But
it.
it's not a puzzle game. Like, what about Pokemon? Where does that fall into this? shit?
That's an RPG that's top down, like, and it's 2D graphics. So,
okay.
there's like 3D ones, but that's not in the right time frame.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gwent. I feel like this would have been Gwent if the time frame was right. It just like that would have been it. But fuck.
Can we ask if this is a card game, just to kind of eliminate?
I
card
don't know
games?
what else to ask. Yeah, is it?
It has right. Yeah, is it a card game?
No.
Fuck! What the hell?
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
I'm just gonna say for the record, whatever the game this is doesn't sound fun. I'm just gonna. At minimum, it doesn't sound. Fun.
I don't want to give any hints. I don't want to give it away because I do want to win this. But
Oh fuck! Are we like way off with our like line of
Don't
thinking?
ask him that. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
just
use that
curious.
against us.
no,
Um,
I'm not gonna.
I want to use the hack.
I don't know
because
because nobody's ever won 20 questions yet. So
I want to use the Game Scoop hack of did we mention this game yet on this podcast? But I don't know if that would help us.
it would help me.
Well, if he said no, then we're completely boned.
True.
Yeah. It's a risk.
It's always a gamble.
But he wants to win, though. Would he bring something up that you guys have talked about before? I don't know him well enough to know that.
I mean, by that I would mean like on this episode. Have we mentioned
I
the
see.
name of this game?
Because you guys talk about a lot of games. That's for sure.
I like games.
Fuck it, I'm going with it. Have we mentioned the name of this game on this podcast?
No.
Well, we're boned.
I'm pretty sure this is just like the Kindle e-reader app or something. Like, like I don't know what else it could be.
Are we gonna be kicking ourselves when you reveal this game, Dave?
Is that a question?
No,
That
don't
doesn't
ask that
that
question.
doesn't count as a question.
Not a question.
I'm not
doesn't
giving it.
count.
Nope, I'm not giving it away. I'd love
What
to
are we at,
charge you
question
for that.
19? Is this
This is
question
19. This is your last question before your guess.
All right,
What's that?
so-
What's that game? It's like Tiles or something. You know what I'm talking about? Where they has like the little cards. Wait, is that a console exclusive? Never mind.
Oh my god!
It's-
So you don't kill anything. It's not a sports game. It's not a
I
puzzle
was
game.
gonna
it's
say
not a 2D
we've literally
platformer.
named every genre and every variation of what
Is it
It's
Wheel
not a
of
racing game. It's not a
it's-
card game.
It's Wheel of Fortune.
There's multiplayer.
I have one hint that I want to give that might
Can we have?
tip the scales, but I don't want to give it because it might.
Oh,
Tip,
you just-
it
Just
might
do
tip
it.
it
I
too
don't know if
far.
we're gonna.
We're not gonna get it anyway. We'll count it as a loss if we get it off this hint.
All right, think about it. Think about the episode that we just recorded.
Oh, I know what it is now.
Yeah,
It's Rock Band.
Are you kicking
It
yourself?
could be
yet?
Rock Band, or it could be.
It's probably
Guitar
Rock
Hero.
Band.
But isn't Rock Band part of a? Oh, it is part of a franchise.
It's probably Rock Band.
Mm.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dave, that's a
But
big
is it
clue.
Rock-
That's a big
is it,
clue.
I
is it
think-
Rock Band or Garage
But
or
now we know
Guitar
this.
Hero?
yeah. If we get it, I'll count it as a loss because that is a big hint.
Oh, it's absolutely a loss now.
It's
Absolutely
not a loss. She didn't tell us the name of the game.
Absolutely a loss now.
I never admitted.
I wasn't even thinking of a rhythm game. That is a genre that we.
But
didn't
we
think
could
about.
still get it wrong at this point. Don't worry. Hold on. We could say Garage Band or I'm sorry, Rock Band or
Does
Guitar
this
Hero.
game have a drum peripheral that you can play with?
No.
Okay, then it's probably Guitar Hero.
You sure
I
about
feel
that?
confident.
What
with
else
that.
would it be?
Or
Guitar
DDR?
Hero too.
I'm guessing Guitar Hero. Is it Guitar Hero?
Is that the group's guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Guitar Hero.
Oh Oh, I mean, I'll take. It's like a 0.5 win.
No, that is. You guys get 0 credit, and may God have mercy on your souls.
Oh my god!
You guys
we wouldn't have gotten it without that.
No,
tip.
I wouldn't have. I
Nothing.
was not even thinking about that at
The
all.
whole rhythm games, like the whole genre, you guys just glossed right over it. I tried to
was
stay
not
on
thinking
topic
about
a little
that
bit
one bit.
with
Well, 'cause
Whiplash
everybody
being the
glosses over it
music.
because it's trash.
Listen, I
was-
played a
it was
lot
good
of
for a
Guitar
while.
Hero back in the
Apparently,
day.
Guitar Hero released in North America 2005, only on the PlayStation 2. It wasn't until Guitar
Okay.
Hero 2 that it came to the 360.
Interesting.
Thus the platform
Oh.
exclusivity, which was the weird, because I kind of thought that it got ported over to something, but I was PlayStation 2 back then, so.
What's the view then considered? Like the camera view?
It's
I don't
like
know.
obscure. It's not even.
It's first person, and it's the god of music looking down upon what is being played before them, as it is a puzzle game of music. It is a yes.
Oh.
You should have said yes to all those questions, Dave.
Well, I win. Yay.
Good job.
Well, that
Finally,
was good. Well,
job.
thank you.
Yeah, I was.
No, that yeah.
I'm
was
glad
good.
that
I
one-
was not thinking about rhythm games at all.
No, my head was not there at all. I blame Fred on that one. I looked at him to get that one
Yeah,
right.
I kind of cucked it up. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, all right. Well, that was awesome. Fred, if you would please kind of plug anything that you got going on, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I am a podcast creator. So if anyone's interested about learning about making podcasts or has any questions about podcasts, please reach out to me. Other than that, you can reach me at bio.link/Frederick Victor. That's where you can find me on social. That's where all my socials are at. And this has been so much fun. Thanks, guys. I really hope you guys will have me back. Preferably if you guys ever do Games of Thrones, just so I can shit on the last 3 seasons. Please. That's all I want to be there for. That'd just be great. And other than that, this has been so much fun. And fuck Guitar Hero. Bye.
Hey.
I think I'd have to sit the Game of Thrones one out if we did one. There was just too much going on there for me to sit in on that one.
The second episode of this show, we did Star Wars, and we will talk about Game of Thrones. I mean, we have Matrix coming up. There's some heavy hitters
Oh.
coming up.
Did
And
you guys
with-
like Cloud Atlas by the same Chikazi?
No.
I
No.
talked about watching that one. I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to watch it.
I saw it in the theater when it first came out, and I don't remember shit about it.
It didn't sound like it went over well with this group.
It was dumb.
I mean, I love Tom Hanks, but like that, it's not memorable at all.
Tom Hanks
did not like
has it as
anything
one
of
of
it.
his top 3 movies he's ever been in too.
Yeah, exactly. That's and
Oh my God.
on third watch, because I was a theater watcher and then I watched it halfway in, and I actually watched it on a plane recently. I was like, man, this movie's actually pretty good. But it took
Really?
it took 3 watches. It took all 3 of them. And then
Okay.
once you know about the Wachowskis, like that's why they all play different characters in it, because they're like they're trans and they obviously want to.
Sure.
Yeah. So that kind of like stuck out to me. Once you know the full story, it does. But yeah, there's some liberties in there that you're like, what the hell happened? And plus, for some reason, the German government funded it. I don't know why that happened, but apparently nobody trusted the
What?
Matrix makers. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. It's
Sure.
weird.
No, but well, anyways, I know that like heavy hitters like the Matrix and the Game of Thrones will be like topics we'll talk about, and like it would be interesting to have a conversation about what happened with Game of Thrones, and not just like the TV series, but even the books, like just the series itself, like the state of Game of Thrones, and then there's a TV series coming out on HBO about the Targaryens. That's going to take place before everything that we saw and Game of Thrones. So, I mean, I love talking about some of those things. I spent so much of my life, I feel, and during those years of Game of Thrones, just learning so much about the lore and the world and just the production of. But if we do, we'll definitely have you on the show, dude, because it'd be great to hear. You and Dave can buddy up and shit on stuff, because that's like kind of Dave's role.
Oh no, I'm the
So-
I'm the other side of the coin. I'm the devil's advocate for a lot of this
That's
stuff.
why we love you.
I just like bringing up stuff just to make you guys go crazy sometimes. I may not even believe it. I just like ruffling feathers sometimes. So whatever.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. Did you like Parasite though?
I haven't
what's your
seen
issues with
Parasite. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Watch that.
Oh, I was thinking. No, you said Parasite. I immediately thought
Movie Hole.
Human Centipede in my head, but I haven't
Top
seen
tier
that
movie.
I haven't seen that one either. So
Oh, no,
I don't even
haven't
have
seen that
kids, and I still wouldn't watch that movie in my house.
either. Yeah, no way, no. Well, Eric, why don't you plug our social and then we can get out of here?
Sure. Just go to the nomadsfantasy.com. You can find all of our social media channels there at Nomads of Fantasy, pretty much anywhere you find social media. So follow us, do whatever you want to do. We're there.
good
All
answer.
right. Thanks so much, Fred, for coming on the show, and thanks everybody for watching Whiplash. Again, I love that movie so much, so I'm just glad that we got together and we could talk about how awesome it was. So thanks, guys, for doing this one.
Sure, it was fun. Later, thanks, Fred.
Thanks for having me. Later, guys.
Safe travels, Nomads.
Little trouble there. Let's pick it up at 17. Ready? 5, 6, and. Not quite my tempo. Here we go. 5, 6, and. Downbeat on 18. Okay, here we go. 5, 6, and. Bar 17, the and of 4. Got it? 5, 6, 7. Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go. 5, 6, 7. You're rushing. Here we go. Ready? Okay. 5, 6, and. Dragging just a hair. Wait for my cue. 5, 6, 7. Rushing. 5, 6, and. Dragging. 5, 6, and. Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging?
No.
Count again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference. If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig. Now, are you a rusher or are you a dragger? Or are you gonna be on my fucking time?
I'm gonna be on your time.
What does that say?
Quarter note equals 215.
Count me at 215.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus fucking Christ! I didn't know they allowed retards into Schaefer. Am I to understand that you cannot read tempo? Can you even fucking read music? What is that?
8th note.
Yes, what is that?
Dotted 16th note.
Sight read measure 101. What are you, in a fucking a cappella group? Play the goddamn kit! Ah! Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Answer!
Rushing.
Are you one of those single-tier people? Do I look like a double fucking rainbow to you? You must be upset. Are you upset?
No.
No, so you just don't give a shit about any of this?
I do give a shit about this.
Are you upset? Yes or fucking no? Yes, you are upset.
Yeah.
Say it.
I'm upset.
Say it so the whole band can hear you.
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
You are a worthless, friendless little piece of shit whose mommy left daddy when she figured out he wasn't Eugene O'Neill, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a fucking 9-year-old girl. So for the final father-fucking time, say it louder!
I'm upset.
Carl. Start practicing harder, Neiman. Whiplash, bar 125, big boy tempo.